Gift me? Su Xing's expression was odd. This wind-settling pearl was certainly a powerful magic weapon, perhaps the magic weapon that Ruan Hongxue was most proud of. He naturally did not believe the girl cultivated it in the silent path. You're not planning something, right? This young lady cannot gift it to you. Ruan Hongxue angrily curled her lips. This young lady certainly does not wish to see you completely lose the Four Styles School's face. Humph. She snatched the fire dragon whip, and Ruan Hongxue immediately stomped off, leaving behind a confused Su Xing where he was. Ruan Hongxue really is weird. Su Xing was not a modest person. It could not be said for certain whether the wind-settling bead would have a surprise use in the future. Another means was another opportunity, this logic he still understood. Wu Xinjie tried to stifle a laugh. Is young lord pretending to be confused? Hey, Xinjie. Why does your tone sound like she's taken a fancy to me? I've done nothing to her at all. Su Xing promptly denied any relationship. He had not the slightest bit of interest in Sundara women. In actuality, how could Su Xing have known that this wind-settling pearl indeed was Ruan Hongxue's extremely previous item? When she originally lent it to Su Xing and said she picked it up from the silent path, she had only suddenly thought of fooling him, to observe how he would react. According to Ruan Hongxue's mind, the wind-settling pearl was a prehistoric spirit treasure, priceless. Any star cultivator that saw it would not be unmoved. Hence, she misled Su Xing with, picked up in the silent path, because she wanted to know whether or not Su Xing would return the wind-settling pearl to her after he returned. If ordinary cultivators heard Ruan Hongxue's words, 8 or 9 out of 10 would take it for themselves. Since you picked it up, even if we actually took it for ourselves, you would have no choice. Ruan Hongxue actually hoped Su Xing would truly do this. On one hand, this was good for shattering the image of Su Xing being a life-saving benefactor. On the other, she just so happened to be able to take revenge on Su Xing, to give him a bad reputation in the Four Styles School. But she had not anticipated that not long after, Su Xing would then come to Fire Cloud Peak. Moreover, that he was hardly reluctant to return the wind-settling pearl. This truly infuriated Ruan Hongxue to gnashing her teeth. Nevertheless, she had a favorable impression within. This wind-settling pearl was not too useful to Ruan Hongxue, and it was for this reason that she wanted to give it to Su Xing, which counted as a completed transaction. How could Su Xing bother to go wondering about why Ruan Hongxue's mood was so complicated? He currently had many prehistoric spirit treasures, and he had also obtained the Empress Two Earth book, so he naturally disdained to go blackmail this sort of thing. Seeing that Ruan Hongxue's attitude shifted, Su Xing only took it to be that saving a life was more meritorious than building a 7-story pagoda. He then flew on his riding sword for Kagoshima, in order to gather the materials for his flying sword. Kagoshima Market Square was a surging tide of people as before. The star cultivators seemingly were even more numerous, and among them were many sect cultivators. Su Xing felt this market square truly was pretty good, saving him a lot of time. Lowering the flying sword, Wu Xinjie and Gongsun Huang had long left the star nest and followed along his left and right. Su Xing did not want to tarry, directly traveling to the Spirit Sand District. Walking into a Mount Putua store, Su Xing found Putua purple bamboo sand. 2. This sort of Putua purple bamboo sand was extremely expensive. 1 liang was more than 10 million. Su Xing fully exhibited his skill at haggling prices, using a stock of 100-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo to barter. Acting as a very professional and virtuous robber, this was something that Shi Yuan obtained in the amidst all the chaos at Heavenly Gem Valley. Not that Heavenly Hem Valley had already become a thing of the past, the evil-suppressing gem bamboo truly was extinct in Liangshan, but the cultivators of Mount Putua honestly was lacking in discerning power, considering the age of 100-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo too low. No matter what, he was unwilling to exchange 242 liang of Putua purple bamboo sand, making Su Xing gloomy. A young girl walked on the streets of Kagoshima. The young girl was very charming, the tender age of 18 or 19. She wore a snow-white palace dress and was draped in a blue muslin shirt, clean and elegant. At first glance, she was a character like the Lingbo fairy, her appearance pure and holy, dignified and soldierly, making people not look straight at her, unable to rouse blasphemous intentions in their hearts. The girl leisurely looked along the street. Beside the girl was another girl, adorned in a light yellow long skirt, a white snowdrift waistcoat. Her thin hair was distinctly layered, cute like running waters on a tall mountain. A night pearl hung, binding her long, flowing hair. This girl's skin was beautifully white, appearing refined. Her innate beauty was that of a budding beauty. Longnu, 3, that frontlet is so fast, oh, and this, too, astral tool. The eyes of the girl in the light yellow long skirt released light. Her temper was very lively as she ran circles around the store. The girl called Longnu wore a very gentle smile, feeling very helpless at her partner's behavior. Mengrue, this thing is certainly not worth a mention in the palace. Mengrue doesn't like the inside of the palace, it's too constraining. Mengrue likes this way better, when things are wide as the sky. Mengrue's eyes were incomparably tender. On the street, she spread wide her arms, as if she wanted to hug the sky. Everyone watched odd gazes, keeping far away, believing they had encountered an abnormal nut job. Longnu was helpless, knowing that Mengrue's natural disposition liked to be free and unconstrained. She whispered, "Being with me is actually a grievance against you, Mengrue." "Not at all." Mengrue flipped her hair, smiling sincerely without the least bit of complaint. Mengrue can only be together with Longnu. No matter the place, Mengrue will always feel it's very vast. Longnu smiled. But why would Longgu want come take a look here? Could the reason be because of Mengrue? Mengrue ran to her side, slightly lowered her body. She blinked, a very expectant appearance. "Your star weapon is about to advance to 4-star. I am helping you search, and I also want to look at this place. I hear these sakura are like snow, a beautiful scene in Kagoshima." Longnu said. "Oh." Passing by a Mount Putua shop, suddenly, Longnu cast a glance, taking note of a stalk of bamboo, showing an odd expression. "Longgu?" Mengrue followed Longgu's line of sight and saw a man in the store currently was discussing something with the cultivator inside the store. Mengrue was confused. Longnu walked inside. "Call your shopkeeper over, how can the value of 100-year evil suppressing gem bamboo be this little?" Su Xing said gloomily. 150 liang of Putua purple bamboo sand is already a lot, fellow. The female cultivator respectfully said. Searching all over Kagoshima, only the Putua Hall had amounts of Putua purple bamboo sand sufficient enough to satisfy Su Xing, but 185 liang clearly was inadequate. Although the 100-year evil suppressing gem bamboo was not extinct, it was rare. Besides, the quantity of Su Xing's stock was even very large. Exchanging for 2 or 3 liang was absolutely not a problem. This female cultivator evidently discerned Su Xing required large amounts of Putua purple bamboo sand that she dared to be this low. Across all of Kagoshima, to be able to supply several hundred liang, there was only this shop. Truly, this was the stereotypical, the strong has the advantage. Su Xing was depressed. If he went to other stores to exchange, he definitely could not do so, but the price was lowered by a half. How could Su Xing be so willing? 150 liang. For a store like Mount Putua to be so overbearing, conducting business in this way, is that appropriate? A somewhat displeased voice interrupted the negotiations between Su Xing and the female cultivator. Everyone turned their gazes, only seeing 2 beauties enter the store. One was a dignified and pure, the other innocent and gentle, both beauties. Seeing that each and every one of their moments was out of the ordinary, Su Xing felt the birth treasure outline in his astral bag resonate. His heart was startled. The birth treasure outline was capable of sensing star generals. Obviously, among one of these 2 girls was one star general, or both were. 100-year evil suppressing gem bamboo, huh? This certainly is a good thing. How'd you get it? Mengruei showed an expression of admiration as she looked at that strip of bamboo. What are you saying? Transactions naturally are mutually consented to. The female cultivator forced a smile. Longnu indifferently glanced at her, not minding her. Rather, she gazed at Su Xing, her limpid pupils cycling through Su Xing, Gongsun Huang, and Wu Xinjie. Finally, her gaze fell onto Su Xing, and she smiled. This fellow, I feel that this Mount Putuo sees fellow's urgent need for a large quantity of Putuo purple bamboo sand that it would deliberately lower prices. She spoke very directly, making the Mount Putuo cultivator somewhat not too slightly. Su Xing smiled, his first impressions of this girl actually not bad, but there is no helping it. Only this place can exchange for this much purple bamboo sand. Heavenly Gem Valley has been destroyed. Now, evil-suppressing gem bamboo is increasingly precious. For fellow to exchange like this is actually a pity. Longnu said. What do you mean? Su Xing heard the meaning behind her words. The treasure feast, 6, of the Crystal Dragon Palace will be convened not too long from now. Fellow, why not bring this evil-suppressing gem bamboo to the treasure feast? You certainly can exchange for an even better thing, far more precious than several hundred liang of Putuo purple bamboo sand. Longnu said. Treasure feast. Su Xing heard about it before, Liangshan's top banquet, a banquet the entire Azure Dragon territory went wild for. Some especially valuable treasures often would appear. My 100 years evil-suppressing gem bamboo perhaps cannot be put on the table, let alone that I do not have the Crystal Dragon Palace's invitation letter. Su Xing spoke forthrightly. Although the treasure banquet was good, to enter without a bit of status was not possible. Longnu nodded, suddenly pulling a smile. A crystal token appeared in her hand. If fellow is interested, I can introduce fellow into the treasure banquet. Wu Xinjie was hoarse the moment she saw that token. Unexpectedly, it was the Crystal Dragon Palace's invitation plate. Gazing at the girl in front of them, the knowledge star's eyes carried thoughtfulness. Seeing that token, the Mount Putuo female cultivator was also startled. Glancing at each other, she immediately whispered some instructions. They saw a female cultivator quickly walk in. Then, thanks. Su Xing took the token. In his hand it was soft, yet also like glass. You must properly cherish the opportunity. Longnu certainly thinks very highly of your things, ha, ha. Mengruei sized up Su Xing, showing a giggling expression. Your servant is Su Xing. Su Xing announced his name. You can call me Longnu. Longnu had originally wanted to find an alias, but since Mengruei already said as such, she did not hide. Longnu? This name actually was odd. Is it this young lord that wishes to exchange for Putuo purple bamboo sand? Suddenly, a charming voice interrupted Su Xing. Su Xing turned his head, spotting a woman with a lovely smile. Clearly, she was the shopkeeper. Su Xing nodded, just about to say something. How could he have expected that shopkeeper's eyes would shine as if she saw treasure when she looked at the evil-suppressing gem bamboo, completely unlike the female cultivator just now. She shouted and scolded, still you have not quickly given the young lord an apology. Can this sort of thing be exchanged for 150 liang? Sorry. The female cultivator apologetically said. This means. Su Xing smiled. His counterpart nodded. A disciple cupped her hands and passed over an embroidered box. There was purple-colored spirit sand, with a bamboo-like fragrance. This is 300 liang of Putuo purple bamboo sand. If young lord is willing to exchange, this store will exchange right now. Any surplus can be taken as an apology. The woman was all smiles as she spoke. Although she said as such, her gaze nevertheless occasionally glanced at Longnu. Su Xing clearly understood. It seemed the status of this Longnu was apparently very formidable, unexpectedly bringing a 180-degree change. Thanks. Su Xing nodded, exchanging the evil-suppressing gem bamboo without the slightest hesitation. Your Highness Longnu, do you require anything? The woman respectfully said. It is best to leave a line when conducting business. Longnu serenely said. As Your Highness Longnu says. The woman nodded. Su Xing secretly wondered, could it be that this young girl was from the legendary Crystal Dragon Palace? Next time, your servant certainly will go pay a visit to the treasure feast. Su Xing cupped his hands. Farewell. Longnu slightly bowed, her etiquette proper. Turning around, her figure was graceful, dignified and fitting. Is this Longnu the Crystal Dragon Palace's Star Master? Su Xing creased his brow, somewhat unwilling to accept this fact. Observing with seeing clearly, her cultivation unexpectedly was at supercluster early stage, an ancestor-level cultivation, honestly inconceivable. Perhaps the Xie Zhenyuan and Yan Wudao claimed to be stunning beyond compare also were merely so. Pity that he was unable to use the birth treasure outline, otherwise, he could see what star maiden that Mingrue was. She is unmistakably the Crystal Dragon Palace's, but whether or not she is a star master is unclear. Wu Xinjie had no way of being certain. Any way it was put, Kagoshima Market Square was the Crystal Dragon Palace's jurisdiction. To make the Mount Putua shopkeeper be reverent and fearful, only the local boss could accomplish this. But if she was a star master, the supercluster early stage cultivation also made Wu Xinjie speechless. Currently, the Azure Dragon Territory's three great star masters, Xie Zhenyuan, Yan Wudao and Zhao Hanyan should be attacking supercluster stage cultivation, especially when the Ling Yan princess possessed the purple star jade pendant. She should be the first to be able to break through to supercluster ancestral master level of cultivation, but at the minimum, that needed the third phase to end. They had never heard of the Longnu before them, and that she unexpectedly broken through to supercluster stage honestly was unimaginable. Wu Xinjie immediately thought, it was the Crystal Dragon Palace that was also known as the Treasure of the Realm. They even had legendary extinct spirit medicines the likes of the Thousand-Year Tears, and Water Phoenix Crystal Marrow. If they truly did not spare effort to nurture a Star Master's talent, this actually would not be a difficult problem. The Crystal Dragon Palace and Purple Firmament Immortal Palace of Liangshan Continent's three palaces always hid their tracks, not appearing in public. Even if it was the most important birth treasure outline, they also did not care for it. These types of secretive sects were perhaps the largest variables in the star duels, especially the latter Purple Firmament Immortal Palace which had once turned out a previous overlord. Sects like this maybe would calculate even more in the star duels. Now that the Longnu before them unexpectedly had this sort of cultivation, that Purple Firmament Immortal Palace that once produced an overlord was actually at this stage, and recalling that the Devil Star Palace also had a great Saint Star Killer, he could not be careless in these star duels. The Crystal Dragon Palace is somewhat interesting. Su Xing pondered. He tossed crystal plate, then caught it in his hand. We had better first go collect the materials. Yes. And Suwen's white hands softly rocked. Several droplets of meticulously refined 10-year tears of Empress Wa dripped into the evil-suppressing gem bamboo. A kind of milky aroma sunk into the bamboo. The evil-suppressing clear light was increasingly sparkling, the evil-suppressing cloud marks flickering more, as if clear and peaceful bamboo scent enveloped the void immortal's abode in harmony. Success. Spending several billions worth of assets finally induced the last 10 years of growth for the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo. And Suwen thoroughly stretched and exhaled, wiping the fragrant sweat from her brow. Elder sister truly is very incredible. Shi Yuan nearby said in admiration. This is Suwen's duty, nothing more. And Suwen smiled, little sister Yuaner, how is your 5 poisons banner refining? Almost there. This young lady recently was researching the 5 poisons banner array Su Xing gave. Using puppets to make the array actually has problems. However, even if there are problems, this young lady will keep going, Shi Yuan tugged her sleeves and said. The space broke open. Lin Yingmei and Yan Yizhen entered the immortal's abode. Sister Yingmei, Sister Little E. The 2 girls lively called out. Shi Yuan jogged over. How are the 2 elder sisters' star weapons? Lin Yingmei nodded. Clearly, there were no problems. Has young master not yet returned? Lin Yingmei asked. He is probably on a honeymoon with little sister Lianxin. Sure, Yuan stifled a laugh. Lin Yingmei's eyes had an unrelieved worry. And Suwen gently said, is Sister Yingmei worried about Big Brother's calamity? Lin Yingmei slightly nodded her head, but she also knew that worry was unnecessary. Given Su Xing's personality, the more Chao Gai hindered him, the more he would not yield, as if he could support the heavens by himself if they were to fall. Thinking to this, Lin Yingmei herself was not aware the corner of her mouth had curled. Space again rocked. All of the girls turned their heads, believing Su Xing had returned, but when they saw who came, Lin Yingmei and Yan Yizhen's eyes sunk. Immediately, they assumed attack stances, their star weapons appearing in their hands, their offensives fully ready. The pagoda-shifting Heavenly King Chao Gai slightly smiled, not arrogantly yet seemingly so. This one has only come to see you, then we truly thank you for your troubles. A cold laugh charged through the immortal's abode. Chao Gai turned her head. Su Xing, Wu Xingjie and Gong Sun Huang had already appeared. The Su Xing who spoke stared at Chao Gai, his tone unamused. The meditative mind lotus flower, have you bloomed it? Chao Gai said. You did not have to go to the trouble. The meditative mind lotus flower had manifested signs of withering. Su Xing always was using his sea of consciousness to control it, which actually was considered steady. What, still waiting? Evil Smiting Hall will start after 7 days and will last for a time of 3 months. Afterwards, all star generals will become complete stars. At that time, if you still persist in the wrong ways, you shall regret it. This one came this time to remind you. The more star generals you have, the greater your disadvantage. Chao Gai's words made Lin Yingmei angered. Her spear stabbed directly, a cold light flowing. Su Xing used the heaven-suppressing stillness hand without the slightest hesitation, a large hand of purple clouds slapping down. The heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda rose and broke up the attacks. In your eyes, could it be your sisters are all tools? Su Xing coldly said. Chao Gai said, there is no need to get angry. Sooner or later, you will know this one's labors. Su Xing stuck out his middle finger. Although she could not make sense of this gesture, Chao Gai's heart still had an indescribable anger. Humph. If you cannot pass even the calamity this one conferred, then how can you say that big talk of confronting Maiden Mountain? You are on your own. Chao Gai glanced at Su Xing, turned around and left. As it turned out, the void immortal's abode cracked, and Tang Lianxin appeared. Seeing Chao Gai, Tang Lianxin showed a shocked expression. Chao Gai did not say anything more, her figure dissolving into light and scattering. Elder brother, was that Chao Gai? Tang Lianxin asked. Precisely Chao Gai. That she came to this place, could it be? No need to mind her. So long as I, Su Xing, still have one breath, I will never allow you all to suffer harm. Su Xing solemnly said. Wu Xingjie broke into laughter. How can the sisters endure what young lord said? Su Xing laughed. Passing through this incident, the originally uneasy mood of the immortal's abode was unintentionally ended. Returning to relaxation, the grim form still did not easily relax. Su Xing asked the Four Styles School to help with the matter of Tang Lianxin's star weapon. By the time the solitary star manifested the great void golden lotus, it would make everyone dumbstruck. Golden lotuses filled the sky, with 4 stars brilliantly glittering. A 4-star star weapon, so incredible. And Suwen cried out in surprise. I also did not think it would be this quick. Tang Lianxin herself also did not foresee she could advance her star weapon to 4-star within a single day. This speed practically was soaring into the sky with a single flap. Zhu Yueka said she would not allow Tang Lianxin to feel wronged, but she never expected there would be such a pleasant surprise. Carefully thinking, this actually was a matter of course. The Four Styles School was Liangshan's peak tool refinement great sect. Even if it was in decline, its capital was very ample. Star weapon upgrade materials all were very rare, however, Tang Lianxin was an earthly star and was a tool refinement star general. Her star weapon upgrades were far from being as demanding as the other star generals. An earthly star's 4-star star weapon, however, still required 16 pieces of treasure stone and 80 liang of spirit sand. For this little amount of items, the 4 styles school still could bring these out. Yingmei, are you still missing anything? Su Xing asked. Your servant will refine to 3-star later. Lin Yingmei said. The materials were complete, but compared to the solitary star's 4-star, the majestic star's 3-star perhaps would make the girl even more worthy of envy. She was a heavenly star, a martial force star general in particular. This type of star general always was extremely difficult. Across all of the current phase, 3-star was top ranking. Is this profound silence crystal any use to you? Su Xing took out the profound silence crystal he found in the silent path. Ah! Lin Yingmei was stunned. Your servant requires 48 pieces of profound silence crystal to refine the 5-star star weapon. Carefully counting, there were 52 pieces of profound silence crystal. With this, as long as she upgraded to 4-star, Lin Yingmei's 5-star was at hand. Young master, how did you obtain this? From what Lin Yingmei knew, profound silence crystal was very rare. Luck. Su Xing summarized the events, somewhat regretfully looking at Little E and the rest of the beautiful girls. Little E, your 3-star will need to wait a few days. Little Huang, Xinjie, Suan, Yuan, your 3 stars maybe will need to be put off. Due to the recently cultivated 1,000-year tears, as well as refining the flying sword and such, Su Xing also had enormous expenses. The ores and spirit medicines he should exchange nearly left him strapped for cash. If it was not for Yuan settling the puppet wood essence by herself, even the forging of the 5 poisons puppet would become a problem. All of the girls smiled. Big brother, there is no need to worry. Leaving the star weapons to elder sisters Yingmei, Little E, and Little Huang will be enough. And Suan said. Yes. Upgrading or not upgrading our star weapons really does not matter. Wu Xinjie grabbed Su Xing's arm, giggling. Star weapon upgrades are somewhat of self-respect. Su Xing shook his head. The beauties were delighted. It turned out their young master still was quite vain. In actuality, Su Xing also was aware that star weapon upgrades was not necessarily a reason to sign a contract. Very often, star masters would help star generals gather every kind of material, especially closer to the end when star weapon materials were increasingly exceeding hundreds of pieces of stones and ores, even possibly scouring the skies of Liangshan. One person by himself gathering all of these in the end was too difficult. Since the girls cared about him, Su Xing naturally did not want to disappoint the beauties. Right now, the top priority is that we had better help young lord refine the flying sword. Wu Xinjie chuckled. Lianxin, how much time is required to refine the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo into material for 12 flying swords? 3 days. Tang Lianxin responded. 3 days. Evil Smiting Hall will begin in 7 days, perfect. Sisters, for these 7 days, we shall carefully plan the matters of the star beasts, so as to avoid making young lord flustered. Wu Xinjie winked. Are we not going to the far west Buddha kingdom? Little E opened her mouth, doubtfully saying. Compared to Evil Smiting Hall, Su Xing's meditative mind lotus flower was even more worthy of worry. 1 month at the minimum is not a problem at all. Su Xing said. Xinjie and young lord have talked this over. After a month will be the Swirling Kingdom's grand feast of all souls. 2. At that time, 10,000 Buddhas will speak of the classics, which is the perfect opportunity to hurry over, a help to young lord's meditative mind lotus flower. Wu Xinjie explained. Su Xing nodded his head. Since even the knowledge star said as such, everyone did not have opposing ideas. So the Evil Smiting Hall has 3 months, but we need to settle everything within 1 month. Wu Xinjie seriously said. For the sake of young lord, the sisters must think clearly. All of the girls' faces were grim, gravely nodding their heads. Then, they discussed the concrete details of the plan for the next 7 days. Lin Yingmei then suddenly found a problem. We arranged to meet CEO after 2 months. Now that things have changed, does that mean CEO cannot go to Evil Smiting Hall? This cannot be helped. Perhaps we can introduce CEO to Chai Ling. Wu Xinjie said. Suddenly, they found they also had promised the little whirlwind the matter of her star beast. The knowledge star looked at Su Xing, tilting his head with one eye closed, wearing a happy expression. She suddenly felt, it cannot be said for sure that Liangshan continent's 1,000-year situation of sisters fighting one another in the star duels will truly end by his hand. Su Xing stared. Beneath his feet was a gorgeous and complex sword refinement array. This array was like a thriving large tree, opening its branches and leaves into 12 small arrays. Clear light rushed into the skies, and with the luxuriant green leaves, Su Xing's entire person seemed to have become an ancient tree of the firmaments. The materials refined from 12 evil-suppressing gem bamboos hovered above the small arrays. Su Xing's hand struck hand seals. Purple and magic clouds made a soft bang, and the purple clouds began to move about from the sword refinement veins. Instantly, they wrapped the 12 evil-suppressing gem bamboos within. Su Xing's mouth slowly echoed with an incantation. The purple true qi blazed more brightly than flame. It was suddenly more vigorous, and the purple light all of a sudden surged continuously. The evil-suppressing gem bamboo hovering inside began to gradually dissolve. The expression on Su Xing's expression began to become heavy as he stared at this object without blinking. After no less than an hour passed, the evil-suppressing gem bamboo gradually was pulled thin, becoming a sword embryo. Seeing this, Su Xing flung his sleeve, leisurely rolling up a jade box on the ground. The box instantly opened by itself, revealing faint purple light, a sand of pervasive spiritual power. The Putua purple bamboo sand was formed by sanding Putua purple bamboo 9 times by 9 times for a process of 81 times. It was an extremely fine material for forging wood-type magic weapons and the like. With a strong defensive spiritual nature, indestructible, the purple bamboo sand became a purple dust that automatically entered the sword embryo. Green light flourished, and faint cloud marks were vaguely visible following the purple bamboo sand's purple light. Then, Su Xing activated the array, striking a series of hand seals. Each sank in and disappeared, and taking a deep breath, he suddenly bit open the tip of his tongue. A mouthful of essence blood spurted from his mouth. The essence blood followed the life-bound heart flower that sunk into the sword embryo, all of them dripped in and absorbed without exception. Immediately, the sword embryo's color flashed with a brief scarlet. Su Xing's spirit shook, his eyebrows lifting. Using divine intent to suppress one of the wooden swords among them, that magic circle flickered with every kind of cryptic pattern. Su Xing's 10 fingers seemingly sketched lines, beginning to control the flying sword's revolutions. Afterwards, with a flashy style, he started to carve the shape of the wood sword. His style was firm yet also charming, as if etched with sand. Natural and unforced, the magic circle, engravings and amulets were meticulously refined in. The originally ordinary wood sword in a split second was just like a beauty that put on makeup. The blade's edge had cloud marks like running water, its clear light scathing. Fully expanding, the spiritual power was ample. 2 days later. The 12 green-colored flying swords congregated around Su Xing's body, hovering straight, immobile and motionless like the firmament's spirit bamboo. Green light flashed, circulating. The 12 flying swords were completely dark green, the evil-suppressing cloud marks dazzling. The sword tip spat a powerful clear light, blowing wave upon wave, tranquil and distant. Upon the sword hilts were carved 2 words, Langia. Su Xing looked at these 12 Langia swords and still raised a surprised expression. As expected, the flying swords forged using the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo was insufferably arrogant. Clearly, it had already reached a psychic realm. The evil-suppressing clear light contained on the sword would repel ordinary evils. The clear light washed, making Su Xing appear like a hermit adept, a hint of dust blown by light winds and clouds. What made Su Xing even more surprised was that when he nurtured the Langia swords within his body, the somewhat wilted meditative mind lotus flower immediately ceased its withering. The meridians across his whole body had a warm current flow through, and his mental state reached an unprecedented tranquil realm. The hearts-like mirror absolute sincerity technique clearly reached the pinnacle of the second stage. This 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo really is amazing. Su Xing praised. Langia dispersed, washing out with immemorial clear sounds. These sounds could be rated as profound, making people hearing them reflect endlessly. With expenditures this great, the price to forge the wood element flying sword did not disappoint him, as expected. Although the degree of sharpness was far from comparison to heaven tearing, Langia's evil-suppressing clear light nevertheless broke devils and eliminated evils. Reforming from the heart, it would be slightly sharper than heaven tearing in every aspect. Having finished settling the most important matter of the wood element flying sword, Su Xing sighed in relief. Next was to polish the flying sword in his dantian. Quietly waiting for 3 days, evil smiting hall would commence. Su Xing entered the immortal's abode alone, secluding himself in meditation as he continuously tempered Langia. At this time, he flipped his hand, and a shadowy black mirror appeared in his hand. Su Xing pondered, I wonder how Wu Xiao is doing right now. Not being able to go to evil smiting hall together with her is actually a pity. At a distance 3,000 li outside of Su Xing's void immortal's abode Tiger Stream, 2, below Tiger Creek Mountain. 3. In the green grasses like cushions, from the mountain gorge came the bang, bang, bang sounds of fighting. A man and woman pair quickly crossed left and right, their attack methods repeatedly executing. The one attacked was a woman, her figure wonderful, her facial features cool and elegant. With flowing hair, her gait gracefully wandered among the attacks, unstained by dust. An instant later, the man and woman's attacks were exhausted, stopping one by one. The one receiving the attacks was precisely Wu Xiao. Evil smiting hall is imminent. Challenging your servant right now is rather too worrying. Wu Xiao was preoccupied. She was unarmed, having not even brought out her star weapon. Just which elder sister are you? The attacking girl was cute. Her head wore a gold band, was garbed in golden thread green plain yellow robes, draped in a dark green cloak, stuck with a skyward club. Her hand clenched an ice-cold sharp polearm. This weapon had red tassels, coiling like a fierce tiger. The entire body was gold, silver and dark green, with 3 dazzling stars. It was the 72nd ranked complete star stream leaping tiger Chinda's star weapon. Pouncing kill silver light spear. 5. Zhanlu, 6. Be careful. A smart and accomplished youth shouted from the side. He was draped in a dull blue and white robe, galaxy early stage cultivation, 12 stream heavenly water parting flying swords actually used exceptionally. This person was known as Gong Song, 7, a star master that came from Dragon Spring Stream. Although Dragon Spring Stream could be said to be a not very well-known small sect, they had considerable understanding of mountain gorge arts. Besides, the stream-leaping tiger Chinda's innate skill was mountain stream flicker. 8. This type of topography could greatly promote each of their speeds and reactions, but there was no way they could have thought the two working together were helpless against the cool and elegant star general before them. In addition, their counterpart had not even used her star weapon. If you have this much confidence in your ability, then do not use your star weapon. Gong Song used a psychology. His hands formed seals, and 9 large banners appeared. The banners formed 9 spring mouths, becoming a magic circle. He used the Dragon Spring Stream Special Great Array, 9 spring mouths dragon trapping array. 9. Psychology. Wu Xiao's eyes were somewhat disdainful. Seeing the 9 spring-mouths dragon trapping array, she showed a patronizing expression. No wonder they dared to come battle her, they had some capital. Your servant will not kill you. Leave on your own. After evil smiting Hall, if you wish to court death, your servant naturally will oblige you. Wu Xiao appeared absent-minded, as if they're on her mind perplexing her. Humph. While inside your servant the stream-leaping tiger's domain, elder sister is still this arrogant. You will regret it. The complete star suddenly jumped. Her figure dispersed like a shadow, in layers, seemingly real and fake. The pouncing kill silver light spear immediately launched points of cold light. Fluttering and graceful, they suddenly enveloped Wu Xiao within. Dark rank spear technique. Terrified to the bone. 10. Stream leaping tiger. Wu Xiao looked at the 9 spring-mouths dragon trapping array as if it was nothing. Nimbly withdrawing 100 meters, she calmly said, "Your servant just happens to be a tiger fighter." What? The stream-leaping tiger Chen Zhanlu and Gong Song looked at Wu Xiao unexpectedly still able to move about this freely and were immediately shocked. But what frightened them was still afterwards. Wu Xiao actually did not bring out her star weapon. Flipping out a bottle of fine wine, she took a large swig. Then, her figure swayed, and she faced the pouncing kill silver light spear barehanded. Yellow rank special move. 3 bowls of spirits tiger intoxication. Her speed, power and reactions were even faster than before. In the blink of an eye, the stream-leaping tiger's attack pounced onto air. Wu Xiao swayed and punched Chinda into the stomach. There was an acute pain, as if bone was shattered, somewhat more powerful than compared to before. The stream-leaping tiger used the pouncing kill silver light spear to block, nevertheless she was incapable of intercepting the strike. Several consecutive punches made her defenses into nothing, being struck into repeatedly backwards, leaving her battered and bruised. Without using any star weapons, injuring a star general with her bare hands, and with a boxing technique so violent. You are Pilgrim Wusong. The tiger stream very quickly recovered its tranquility, for Chen Zhanlu and Gong Song used the jade pendant to escape. Before a completed star general, Wu Xiao had no intentions of killing them. Searching around the tiger stream, she found several pieces of precious stones. Immediately afterwards, she sat on the white and black unicorn tiger and flew towards the mountaintop. The mountain range was extremely tall, and the peak of ice and snow also had a hot spring. Wu Xiao extended her divine intent into the surrounding several dozen li. Not detecting any figures, she dismounted. Gently undoing her skirt, her virgin fragrance rippled. Exposing her slender curves, a desirable body supple as boneless immortals, Wu Xiao entered the hot spring. That warm water was a supreme pleasure in a world of ice and snow. Bathing for a while in the hot spring, Wu Xiao pensively sighed, her mood constantly still in a mess. Originally, she had thought that leaving that man could allow her to calm down a bit, but already much time had passed. Always, the image of that repulsive man would flash past her. Regardless of whether it was his contracting the leisure star in her face or calling her that bizarre wifey, although their time in the vermilion bird territory was very short, it nevertheless made Wu Xiao feel those brief days were the most unforgettable since the star duels began. In this mutual plan, in the dog-eat-dog star duels, Wu Xiao for the first time had actually forgotten about the star duels, forgotten about her oath. He is Lin Yingmei's master. That is why your servant feels this way. Wu Xiao gave herself an excuse. She shook her head, how could your servant be confused by a man? A steady tone, Wu Xiao had always been firm. A month's exhaustion in this ice and snow vanished in this hot spring. Wu Xiao decided to once again reinstate herself to her previous self, to thoroughly forget that man named Su Xing, to fight only for the reputation of this generation's harm star. First of all, she decided to destroy the thing that man left behind. Wu Xiao exhaled, climbing onto the bank. Her flawless and lovely body completely lacked any covering, her shapely body would make men wild. Turning a blind eye to the surrounding ice and snow, that chilly temperature just happened to be able to calm her mind. The white and black unicorn tiger turned its head upwards. Wu Xiao leisurely waved her hand, and an item flew out. This item was an exquisite mirror, glistening with golden light, extremely beautiful. Acting as a gift Su Xing left to Wu Xiao only took it to be proof left behind of memories in the Vermilion Bird territory. Keeping this kind of item with her, in the end, was too great a disturbance to her mind. Using that mirror, Wu Xiao's perfect naked body and those two frozen pupils were reflected. From this day forward, your servant will no longer have any relationship with you, Su Xing. Wu Xiao's voice broke ice and sliced snow. One hand grasped the mirror, one hand imbued star energy in preparation to destroy this mirror. The golden light increasingly dazzled, enveloping the snowy peak within. Wu Xiao unexpectedly sensed a sun-like warmth comfort her stomach. Up and down her whole body was full of warmth. That scene with the blurting when they confronted Envious of the East flashed past Wu Xiao's mind. Husband for a day, a husband for life. Again, she remembered these flippant words, though they were said with some logic. Lord husband, your servant shall now bid you farewell. Wu Xiao knew this would be the last sigh that she, the harmed star, would heave in this life. The odd stones were rugged, the thousand peaks jagged. Green bluebird vines hung on both sides, a cool breeze gently blew, and the creek water guzzled, evoking the image of a beautiful and secluded place. Dragon Spring Stream. The Azure Dragon territory rarely had streams become the foundational school of a sect. A man and woman walked past this tranquil place with great strides, as if that beautiful scenery of Dragon Spring Stream was nothing. Upon their faces hung indescribable dejection and unreconciliation. This man and woman were the complete star stream leaping tiger Chen Zhanlu and Gong Song. After they walked out from the void immortal's abode with unsightly expressions, they continuously traveled towards Dragon Spring Stream's main palace, walking over to Waterfall River Hall. Encountering the harmed star pilgrim Wusong on Tiger Creek Mountain, to them, being defeated by her when she was unarmed simply was the greatest humiliation. Although Wusong was extraordinary in unarmed combat arts and also used a yellow rank move, besides that the pilgrim Wusong was also an expert in fighting tigers, from the perspective of the stream-leaping tiger, being defeated practically could not have been any more natural. But Chen Zhanlu was very furious, unreconciled. She could accept defeat, but she could not accept a defeat where the opponent did not even use a star weapon. Zhanlu, could it be we are still going? Gong Song was somewhat anxious. Harm Star Wusong simply was their natural nemesis. Even if Dragon Spring Stream altogether moved, they would not necessarily take down Wusong. Recalling not so long ago that there was some Sun sect that wanted to contract Wusong and ended up being destroyed, although Gong Song was very dedicated to the star duels, he nevertheless did not want to throw his life away. The imminent evil Smiting Hall was on the verge of starting. To provoke her at this time was somewhat not too wise. Humph. Chen Zhanlu turned her head. Grinding her sharp baby teeth, she looked like an angry tiger cub. Young master, do not forget. That perfect harmony is still here. Wusong definitely will discover it. She will obstruct us there, at the perfect harmony. But Wusong. Zhanlu knows what young master is worried about. We had best first inform the headmaster of this matter, see what decision he will make. Chen Zhanlu snorted. Gong Song nodded. Along the way, some of the Dragon Spring Stream's disciples respectfully greeted them. Gong Song could not help but once again puff out his chest. Although he had just entered the ranks of star cultivators for not even 3 years, his status in the Dragon Spring Stream was just like it was second to none, and this was all due to the complete star stream leaping tiger Chen Zhanlu. The star duels were extremely dangerous, and many star generals had even been recognized by Liangshan continent's public as a set of cannon fodder. Despite this, other than materials courting death that were cannon fodder, the likes of the leader star Song Jiang or divine mathematician Jiang Jing. 2. The majority of people chasing after the star generals still were numerous. Just by contracting, they could enjoy the star generals' innate skill, and advance their cultivation even more quickly than ordinary star cultivators. These 2 points were sufficient to make cultivators restless. Some star cultivators, so long as their luck was not that bad, they basically could reach supercluster stage cultivation by the 4th phase. This type was but the realm of the Liangshan continent's ancestors. Ordinarily, this could not necessarily be reached without 60 or 70 years, but signing a star dual covenant nevertheless easily solved that. Junior brother Gong Song. Inside Waterfall River Hall, a female cultivator slightly smiled. Although she was a senior sister, she was quite respectful. Is headmaster present? Chen Zhanlu asked bluntly. An ancestral master Su Wangchuan, 3, from the Most High Path has come. Headmaster is currently in a discussion with him. The female cultivator said. Ancestral master Su Wangchuan. Gong Song exclaimed. The Most High Path was worthy of being called the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 great sect, for its ancestral masters were all supercluster stage cultivation. A great sect capable of having 3 ancestral masters would have to thank the heavens. Sects like the Dragon Spring Stream had only headmaster Daoist Master Dragon Spring as the only one to reach supercluster stage. Recently, the Most High Path had suffered misfortune again and again, which could be rated as the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 joke. The Elder Immortal Extreme Clarity praised as the strongest supercluster stage and the Supervoid stage Envious of the East had both perished in battle, shocking Liangshan. However, because of the Most High Path's actions and conduct at 5 Poisons Mountain, no one sympathized with them. On the contrary, they all saw next year's alliance of 10 drills as a joke. The one clear of Azure Dragon Territory's #1 sect was perhaps about to change owners. But they had not expected they would even send out an ancestral master at that. It seemed this sort of great sect truly was unfathomable. Gong Song could not help but feel very insignificant. The final 7 stars definitely would belong to the star masters of this type of sect. Is young master afraid? Chen Zhanlu smirked. Gong Song smiled in embarrassment. Gong Song naturally will work as one with Zhanlu. Chen Zhanlu did not mind him, wrinkling her brow and asked, what has the Most High Path come to do? Zhanlu, there are things you do not know. The Dragon Spring Stream is a member of the Most High Alliance. The headmaster must also be deferential to the Most High Path. Gong Song explained. What face does the Most High Path even have right now, unexpectedly challenging a star general? Even a Supervoid stage cultivator apparently died at Wusong's hand. Chen Zhanlu was disdainful. Suddenly, the stream-leaping tiger's eyes glinted, showing a crafty expression. Wusong, you came at the perfect time. This Su has come this time because he wishes to borrow your sect's Perfect Harmony Spring for a use. Daoist Master can also see, most recently the Most High Path urgently needs morale, and Jin Yuan is off by a step. Su Wangchuan's white hair was past his knees, and his face wore a good-natured smile. On Su Wangchuan's left and right were 2 handsome young men. One was grave and stern, not saying a word, the other silent and expressionless. Daoist Master Dragon Spring had very deep fear. He knew that icily arrogant man not saying a word had been referred to as Azure Dragon Territory's #1 star master, Xia Jinyuan. Upon seeing him today, he was formidable as expected, already having reached the peak of galaxy, and the other disciple Bing Qingxian also was of extraordinary cultivation. He had reached the peak of galaxy middle stage, too. Daoist Master Dragon Spring bitterly smiled. The Perfect Harmony Spring was something an ancestral master of the Dragon Spring Stream discovered during a certain generation of star duels. Reportedly, if 2 people simultaneously submerged in this pool, absorbed the quintessence of the spring water, it could allow perfect harmony between their minds, uniting them in body and mind. Originally, it was to be given to companions practicing dual cultivation to use, but in star duels afterwards, it had seen use. It was discovered that star masters and star generals could become even more powerful. Since then, it had become a goal of some earthly stars in successive generations of star duels. Heavenly stars are extremely few, with very high conceit. They would not join together with a man in a married couple's bath, for that bit of inner quality. Female star masters were an exception. However, the Perfect Harmony Spring was extremely difficult to find, relying on every kind of environmental factor to naturally form. In all of the world, only the Dragon Spring Stream had the sole secret technique capable of finding it. Thus, the Dragon Spring Stream could join the Most High Alliance by merely relying on a single galaxy middle stage ancestral master. Your servant has already assigned a disciple to find it, however, these perfect harmony springs honestly are too few and still has not been found. Taoist Master Dragon Spring said. Evil Smiting Hall is about to open. This sect hopes you can find it prior. Su Wangchuan slightly smiled. Of course, the Most High Path will be endlessly thankful. Although Liang's Most High Path has currently run into a bit of trouble, it does not mean anything. Taoist Master Dragon Spring promptly consented. This Su has heard fellow Dragon Spring School has a star master. Su Wangchuan gently said, stroking his beard, an everything is in my hand attitude. Taoist Master Dragon Spring knew that Su Wangchuan wanted to know the inside details, and he did not hide anything. She is merely the 72nd ranked complete star stream leaping tiger Chinda. We still count on the Most High Path. The stream leaping tiger, huh? As expected, she is very compatible with the Dragon Spring Stream. Su Wangchuan smiled, this is natural. This sect also counts on your sect's perfect harmony. These 9th generation star duels now truly are increasingly intense. Ever since the Purple Thunder monster snatched this sect's prehistoric spirit treasures and broke apart the balance between each of the sects, now the other sect's star masters that do not have prehistoric spirit treasures simply can only be sent off to their deaths. This way is also good. Our Most High Path for these past few years accumulated many prehistoric spirit treasures that just happened to be able to be taken out for use. Fellow Dragon Spring needs only to be able to lend the Most High Path a helping hand. As for this matter of prehistoric spirit treasures, this Su certainly will make every effort to go request Ancestor 3 clarities. Su Wangchuan slightly smiled. Taoist Master Dragon Spring continuously said yes. Master. Something has happened. At this time, a female cultivator anxiously came from outside the door and announced. Su Wangchuan was displeased. What is the matter, to be this helter-skelter, throwing aside etiquette before a guest? How scandalous. The female cultivator screamed in fright, Master, this is bad, junior brother Gong Song and little sister Chen Zhanlu are injured and have returned. What? Taoist Master Dragon Spring stood up from his seat with a start, somewhat looking at Su Wangchuan in alarm. Let us first go see what has happened. Su Wangchuan's expression was full of concern. Yes, yes, yes. Outside the Dragon Spring Stream's Void Immortal's abode, Su Wangchuan, Xie Zhenyuan and Bing Qingxian were stopped outside. Su Wangchuan's eyelids rose. Taoist Master Dragon Spring did not mind that much, worriedly entering the Immortal's abode. When he saw Chen Zhanlu's vitality was still very good, Taoist Master Dragon Spring was startled. What is going on? Master, Zhanlu has a plan. Gong Song said just like that. After summarizing what happened, the stream-leaping tiger coldly smiled. Zhanlu feels that Wusong cannot be said for certain to already have begun to defile the perfect harmony spring by bathing in it. If she does not leave, that would be a waste. Now, the Most High Path has come to court death. As it happens, we can have them go draw away the harm star. How does Headmaster feel? Taoist Master Dragon Spring muttered to himself, not at all urgently answering. Chen Zhanlu slightly smiled, an appearance of having a card up her sleeve. Headmaster needs only to arbitrarily leak information for this to work. Who in Liangshan continent does not know that the Most High Path and Wusong have a life and death hatred for one another? Even the Thousand Pagoda star Chao Gai pays no heed. This number one great sect of the Azure Dragon is prepared to lose face to still take revenge. They naturally have one choice. Moreover, Zhanlu can sense that there is a sister nearby. Good. Taoist Master Dragon Spring immediately agreed the moment he could not think of any disadvantages. Exiting the Immortal's abode, the old fox Taoist Master immediately put out a grieving and helpless expression. Su Wangchuan stepped forward and asked with concern, Fellow, why are you like this? Your sect star master as well. AI, in the end, his life is safe. Taoist Master Dragon Spring said. Did she encounter another star general? Bing Qingxian opened his mouth to ask. Taoist Master Dragon Spring explained as they walked, repeating the excuse he had prepared beforehand. More or less, Chen Zhanlu had nearly found the perfect harmony spring on Tiger Creek Mountain, but she nevertheless encountered the most terrifying fiend star of the star generals, Harm Star Wusong. As a result, the two sides battled, yet how could the stream-leaping tiger be the tiger-fighting pilgrim's opponent? Wusong beat her home using just her bare hands, and now, she was recovering. Wusong. Hearing this name, Su Wangchuan's eyes had a foul light that then sunk. As Chen Zhanlu thought, the most high path right now took Wusong to be its mortal enemy, one that had to die. Before Taoist Master Dragon Spring could say anything more, Su Wangchuan slightly muttered to himself and then said, Since you have seen Wusong, then this ancestor shall go meet her. See just what ability she has. This sect cannot meddle in the star duels and must ask that fellow Wangchuan understand. This sort of matter need not involve your sect. This sect naturally will make Wusong pleasantly surprised. Su Wangchuan slightly smiled. He looked at Xie Zhenyuan and Bing Qingxian and slightly nodded. And how could they know that at this moment, Wu Xiao currently was about to be confronted with the most shameful scene of her whole life? The light-shifting mirror shot out a shroud of golden light that was like fire. A clump of light began to concentrate and take shape in front of her chest. Just as she thought of getting rid of her distracting thoughts, the Wu Xiao who was at peace with herself suddenly saw this change and showed confusion. At this time, the golden light instantly dimmed, and suddenly, Wu Xiao felt an unprecedented manly burning hurt her jade leg, her stomach, and even her whole body. An originally supposed to have been cut off man now was nose to nose, large eyes staring at small eyes with her. Her own threadbare body currently was being tightly stuck to by that man, with not even the smallest gap in between them. Wu Xiao had not yet returned to her senses, still under the impression another illusion had appeared. In this month since she bade Su Xing farewell, Wu Xiao always felt ill at ease, unable to set her mind to rest and not yet awakened from the vermilion bird territory. To the Harm Star, this was a dangerous signal, and consequently, she thought to take the opportunity to cut all of these distracting thoughts with a hot spring in ice and snow, but she had not expected that damned bastard would appear from within the mirror. Wifey? Su Xing gaped and was speechless, shaken by that dreamlike stunning scene before his eyes. He had only seen the image-shifting mirror show activity and came to investigate. Who would have thought he would see the most beautiful scene of his life? Seeing Wu Xiao dumbstruck, Su Xing was somewhat worried whether or not she might have broken down. Lord Husband, Su Xing! Wu Xiao subconsciously yelled. Sensing the two words, Lord Husband, about to slip off her tongue, she immediately changed her tune. A yang fire the kind that hit people in the face clearly informed her, this bastard had appeared in the flesh. Wu Xiao immediately pushed to shove Su Xing away. Su Xing fell back a step. Suddenly she discovered if this bastard withdrew like this, then her body certainly would actually be completely seen. As a result, she then pulled. The speed of this tugging back and forth was extremely quick. Su Xing basically could not firmly plant his center of gravity, and with a stumble, he immediately fell forwards. Even Wu Xiao, in all her life, had never met with such a shameful scenario. For a while, she felt her whole body and her limbs were rigid. Su Xing fell onto her body, and this time, a contact that completely lacked reservations came onto her body. Her towering twin peaks were being pressed down, yet this was not all. Behind her was a hot spring, and the result of this fall was that the two of them plunked into the hot spring, lifting a splash. The white and black unicorn tiger whimpered and stood up. Blinking its eyes, it watched its master and a man tumble into the pool. Since Wu Xiao did not focus any killing intent against the man in front of it, the white and black unicorn tiger could only awkwardly watch. Hot spring water surged across the whole sky. In that instant, Wu Xiao's mind was blank. The two of them tightly stuck to each other, sinking into the depths just like two happily married stones. Those bubbles in the surroundings of the hot spring swept across both sides. In this completely watery world, Wuxiu's consciousness was apparently even more chaotic yet also seemingly even more lucid. The two's eyes were fixed on one another, seemingly making everything in the surroundings disappear. The hot spring was not deep, and falling to the bottom, Su Xing had inadvertently pressed onto Wuxiu's naked body. The nymphs, too, twin peaks being squished made Wuxiu moan from her throat. Just at this moment, that comfortable spring water seemed to want to do evil things. In the water, an indescribably wonderful energy then seemed to have been provoked. Frantically, the waters stirred, and countless white bubbles visible to the naked eye currently advanced towards the two wrapped together to dissolve into their skin. Their bodies then seemed to be drawn closely together like positive and negative magnets, basically unable to disengage. 3. Wuxiu felt an ill sense of foreboding, but her body seemed to have lost its strength. She could only allow these bubbles to blend Su Xing with her. Slowly, their lips began to draw near each other, as if even their souls began to harmonize. Wuxiu's eyes chilled, and a gorgeous star crest suddenly manifested on Wuxiu's forehead. The white and black unicorn tiger anxiously paced back and forth along the shore, incessantly growling at the bubbling hot spring. Boom! The hot spring soared up, lifting a spray of 100 meters. Afterwards, there was a heavy rain on the snowy peak. The entire hot spring unexpectedly had a large hole open in it. Su Xing continuously coughed, his whole body drenched. Gasping for breath, it seemed as if he had died. What sort of scene is this? Su Xing wiped his forehead and shook his head. In that instant just now, his consciousness seemingly frozen. There was a soft moan. A nymph-like body fell in front of him. Su Xing saw a pair of flawless jade feet, and following the jade feet upward were crystalline legs and slender thighs. Between the thighs was a breathtaking hidden valley, and further up was a navel and towering, supple peaks. Long hair almost completely covered the bright red summits of the twin peaks, and after those was a swan-like satiny neck. Finally, there was a cool and elegant to the extreme, absolutely beautiful face and a pair of pupils that could freeze. Roar! The white and black unicorn tiger suddenly bared its fangs, pouncing at Su Xing. Apparently, it was resentful Su Xing would so wantonly look at Wuxiu's body. Su Xing lightly fell back, evading the white and black unicorn tiger. Wuxiu covered her chest with one hand, and with a spin, she draped a star cultivator's cloak around herself. The white and black unicorn tiger once again bit at him, its attack very ferocious. Owing to it being Wuxiu's star beast, Su Xing could not easily act, calling forth the 12 Lengia to go block it. Little white, enough. A cold shout. The white and black unicorn tiger ceased its offensive, crouching nearby like a kitten. Su Xing turned his head to look. Wuxiu already changed into a pilgrim's attire. A black and white long skirt outlined her graceful curves. She had traveler's armor, and her eyes seemingly were a deep galaxy, brimming with incomprehensible mystery. You. Truly wretched. Wuxiu gnashed her teeth. Did you deliberately give me the mirror? Were you waiting for this opportunity? Xiu. Truly, you wrongly accuse me. Su Xing raised his hands, calling injustice. The light-shifting mirror only needed to be imbued with star energy to know its use. Su Xing not saying so was because he felt Wuxiu would understand that on her own. How would Wuxiu know, though? She imbued star energy to destroy the mirror and completely lacked the mind to care about the details of this mirror. Although this time, she somewhat blundered, when she recalled her incorruptible body had been seen completely by this man, her heart burned with an obscure fire. She had even wanted to cut these distracting thoughts just now, but how could she have anticipated the distracting thoughts would be increasingly deep-rooted? This hot spring also was very much an unfathomable mystery, for Wuxiu unexpectedly felt as if she was part of the man in front of her. The perfect harmony spring originally was given to star masters to bathe in order to meld together into one. Those that immersed themselves in the spring water not only could promote their respective cultivations, the star nest would expand, and the perfect harmony realm between them would be met. The most basic characteristic of this sort of realm was the sense of belonging. In the end, Wuxiu simply explosively exerted her star energy, blowing the perfect harmony spring clean away. Otherwise, under this perfect harmony spring, she and Su Xing would even be forced to sign a star dual covenant. Sensing this point, Wuxiu had a very glad yet also somewhat unclear odd feeling. Just as Wuxiu was about to speak, at this moment, she suddenly wrinkled her brow. Your servant just happens to be somewhat in a foul mood, and you actually dropped in yourself. Wuxiu's figure moved. Disappearing from Su Xing's front, he glanced to the side. A silhouette flew out, more than a dozen jade clarity swords slashing with whooshes. The noble frost demonic lotus waved, sweeping aside these flying swords. Immediately afterwards, several magic weapons attacked, and the white and black unicorn tiger pounced towards the sky, another several dozen flying swords encircling. Xie Zhenyuan. Su Xing could not help but narrow his eyes when he saw the attacking newcomer. Along with the Most High Path's Star Master Xie Zhenyuan was another disciple called from who knows where to throw away his life. That supercluster middle stage was not bad. Su Xing did not hesitate at all to beckon with his hand. Langya rippled with clear light, linking together into one, attacking their star generals. Careful of the flying swords. These flying swords are very unusual. Bing Qingxian was taken aback, maneuvering his own flying swords to form a sword array. Several dozen blue light flying swords rose into the air to attack, clear light flashing. Green qi lingered, an extremely good sight. Also very powerful. Su Xing could tell the flying swords of the man in front of him were formidable, seemingly with a bit elder immortal extreme clarity's shadow. The 12 Langya were far from as sharp as heaven tearing. Just now, they barely blocked. Su Xing's action were not slow, and he then fired a purple mansion immortal thunder. Ha, ha. Interesting. Never expected the famous harm star to unexpectedly soak in a hot spring with a man for a married couple's bath. Su Wangchuan showed an evil smile when he saw the scene on the mountain. Wuxiu's face was slightly red, her eyes containing a thick killing intent. She soared. Do you have to be weird about wifey and I bathing together? Su Xing chuckled. He waved his hand, and an enormous hand of purple cloud grabbed at Su Wangchuan. Don't speak nonsense, who is your wifey? Wuxiu slashed and cut away at the flying swords. On one hand, she berated in a low voice, and on the other, she did not stop in the slightest as she attacked to Xie Zhenyuan's front. This time, the currently resentful Wuxiu overhead only took this most high path to be voyeurs, wanting to kill them in a spurt of energy. How could Xie Zhenyuan be able to block the harm star? He immediately retreated, throwing out an artifact. Do not hurt master. At this time, a delicate girl emerged, her hands waving. They saw fine silk cover the skies and divine light flying needles flutter out and form a net. When Xie Zhenyuan saw, he shouted, Rulan, 5, go back. At the same time, he struck hand seals, using an ability. So frank, Su Xing shook his head, at the same time gesturing. The large hand of purple cloud pinched at Bing Qingxian. With Su Xing's current accomplishments, to be frank, facing this somewhat strange but galaxy middle stage cultivator in front of him was not something he cared for. He prepared to swiftly kill Bing Qingxian and then go help Wuxiu resolve her besieged situation. Suddenly, Bing Qingxian showed a sinister smile. Su Xing felt things were far from encouraging. His divine sense already was very powerful, but the opponent's attack this time still took him by surprise. A black shadow rushed at Su Xing. Practically by the time Su Xing noticed, it was already too late. A powerful and swift imposing air restrained him, rushing for his throat. A sharp star energy nearly locked him down, a kind of shock from fear entering the soul. This sort of feeling that could make people shudder was precisely dark rank star magic. Kiss of death. 6. Hearing this cold shout, a figure that could hide even more monstrously than Shi Yuan immediately appeared beside Su Xing, her saber's edge brushing across Su Xing's neck. After shooting at birds all year round, this time, he was about to be pecked by the bird. Just as Su Xing was about to stake everything on sustaining the injury to counterkill, a surprising scene appeared. Blood splashed, and there was a feeble groan. Wu Xiao used the Tenli demonic lotus dragon slaying to reach Su Xing's side. Having just bathed in a married couple's bath, she was abnormally silent. With one move, she helped Su Xing block this slash, even repelling the sneak-attacking assassin. Xiao, are you alright? Su Xing hastily swiped the miraculous Bodhi tree to dispel all the attacks. The bottom of Wu Xiao's heart was complex when she saw the concern Su Xing showed. She realized some things could not be cut. What a good adulterous couple. Su Wangchuan angrily smiled. He had been trapped by the white and black unicorn tiger and was actually unable to do anything. Su Xing swiped the miraculous Bodhi tree to sweep aside the flying sword attacks of Xie Zhenyuan and Bing Qingxian. The star general that sneak-attacked Su Xing all of a sudden hid, completely disappearing. Wu Xiao also attacked empty space. This actually was shocking. Shi Yuan's wind-chasing shadow hiding also was a type of complete presence concealment magic, but the opponent's similar concealment even hid her murderous intent. She simply was a natural assassin. Su Xing raised his head and saw Bing Qingshuan's forehead glimmer, and his heart was inwardly startled. The Most High Path unexpectedly had another hidden star master. The Most High Path's group of 3 feigned a sneak attack to confuse Wu Xiao. Bing Qingxian was planning to once again use his Star General assassin to get rid of Star General. With that superb assassination capability of Qingying's, to dispatch a Star Master still was not something easily done. Bing Qingxian only wanted to get rid of this man that was intimate with Wu Sun in order to avenge the animosity originally formed at the birth outline. His way of thinking indeed was flawless. If it was not for Wu Xiao acting, after being kissed by kiss of death, Su Xing at the minimum would be half dead. Afterwards, that would allow him to grasp everything. Pity that he miscalculated the circumstances. Having just soaked in the perfect harmony spring, Wu Xiao's psychic connection had burst forth in that moment, staking everything to neutralize the danger. Why not come out for a look? Wu Xiao saw that the opposing Star General disappeared, coldly laughing. The noble frost demonic lotus sword's wind rippled, forming a powerful filling floor in a range of several dozen meters. At this time, a golden needle mixed with the golden threads covering the sky came to smother Wu Xiao and Su Xing. Su Xing and Wu Xiao turned their heads to look. That petite little girl of Xie Zhenyuan's twirled her hands in a dance, controlling 2 star weapons. They were the heavenly silkworm treasure silk, 2, and backlighting divine needle. 3. Succeeds star long-armed ape Ho Jian. Su Xing recognized this treasure and was greatly surprised. The miraculous Bodhi tree swiped out thousands of rays of clear qi to suppress this golden net. Glancing at that delicate and adorable little girl, for a moment, he was somewhat unable to react. Being labeled the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 star master, Xie Zhenyuan unexpectedly contracted the rank 71st Succeed star. This honestly was too odd. Rulan, quickly go back. I do not need you to act. Xie Zhenyuan shouted in worry. The Succeed star Ho Rulan still possessed the innocence of childhood, her eyes exceptionally firm. Both hands were butterflies flitting through flowers, waving empty-handed. Yellow rank move. Net of deep passion. 5. Dark rank move. Heavenly silkworm golden thread needle. Continuously attacking, they became layers of golden nets that filled the sky. Wu Xiao creased her brow, apparently somewhat flabbergasted that the Ho Rulan brimming with a childish nature would act, but how could the harm star sympathize in the slightest whilst in the middle of battle? The noble frost demonic lotus raised black qi and white frost. The golden thread and needle net then shattered, simply incapable of obstructing Wu Xiao's pace. Quickly come back. Xie Zhenyuan shouted. Shua! Wu Xiao swept past Ho Rulan's side, and a streak of blood splashed out from her neck. The noble frost demonic lotus clearly had pierced through Ho Rulan's body. The small girl's eyes were shocked, and the heavenly silkworm treasure's silk and backlighting divine needle's golden lights dimmed, disappearing into thin air as she then entered the star nest. Xie Zhenyuan's head sunk. Attacking like a gale, Wu Xiao did not hesitate at all to attack to his front. The purple star transforming Qi launched 4 purple-colored flying swords towards Bing Qingshuan. Su Xing in the surroundings released purple thunder, staring at that star general hidden in the shadows. Bing Qingshuan was nothing to be afraid of, but his star general actually made Su Xing feel as if he was facing a great enemy. Seeing Su Xing's movements were pinned, Wu Song again attacked Xie Zhenyuan. How could Bing Qingshuan let this golden opportunity pass him by? Coldly grinning, he did not hesitate at all to raise a magic weapon. This treasure was a battle-axe-looking weapon, an earthly fiend-grade star treasure, star-hooking battle-axe. 6. The star-hooking battle-axe transformed into a heavenly rainbow, shooting straight for Su Xing's stomach. Su Xing dryly smiled, seizing the miraculous Bodhi tree and swiping several times in succession. The rainbow the star-hooking battle-axe formed had extremely fierce power, nearly running through the entire Tiger Creek mountain. Illuminating the snowy peak, it faintly resembled being covered by the sun, shining brightly onto the snowy peak. In front of this star-hooking battle-axe, Su Xing was just like someone standing beneath a galaxy, stars in every direction. Covering the heavens and earth, there was no way he could evade, no way he could run. Last time, the Bing Qingshuan who had unintentionally obtained Elder Immortal Extreme Clarity's astral bag did not inform anyone at all, and the Elder Immortal Extreme Clarity that had been lauded as the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 supercluster cultivator had capital that could be said to be robust. This also allowed Bing Qingshuan an enormous harvest. This star-hooking battle-axe was one among them. This type of earthly fiend-grade astral treasure could not necessarily compete in the current star duels, but Bing Qingshuan believed handling a star master was not out of the question. Su Xing could tell this treasure was very extraordinary, seeing a brilliance bubble forth from every direction. Starlight dazzled the eyes, the power vast, but he nevertheless did not move in the slightest. He merely faced his palm forwards, his fingers like hooks, slightly curling inwards. Indistinctly, there was a purple cloud of mingling energy circulating without pause, perfectly round and flowing. Chi-la. 7. A sound like ripping apart a copper brocade. Su Xing used his hand to gesture, and a large hand of purple cloud extended, grabbed and immediately squeezed apart the all-concealing starlight that moved towards Su Xing. The snowy peak was still a snowy peak, as if everything just now was an illusion. At a place several meters in front of Su Xing, there was an axe-like, both blades semicircular, completely gold in color, 3 chi long, oddly made weapon. Bing Qingshuan slightly changed. He used both hands to link seals, and the star-hooking battle-axe repeatedly trembled. The purple cloud hand grabbed onto the star-hooking battle-axe, both sides battling. Go! Bing Qingshuan all of a sudden threw out a dozen talismans. A shadow rushed towards Su Xing. This shadow was not harmful at all, but it could make Su Xing's field of view entirely covered in darkness. An intense, ice-cold killing intent was suddenly leveled. Bing Qingshuan's star general suddenly leapt up like a vulture preying upon him, her dual blades slashing past Su Xing's head without the slightest hesitation. Blood did not pour out, instead becoming a mirror-like phantom. I was waiting for you. Behind her came a cold laugh. Su Xing used the mirror image talisman to appear behind his opponent, a golden treasure book appearing in his left hand while his right hand's 5 fingers flicked, shooting a purple thunder dragon claw that grabbed the star general too late to protect herself. Purple light flashed past. Su Xing spotted a girl wrapped in black skin-tight clothes, a pair of cold purple pupils, and a biting cold murderous aura. Humph. The double-edged saber slashed and easily broke the purple thunder dragon claw. Immediately afterwards, there was another flash. She disappeared, then reappeared, clearly appearing like a ghost on the other side of Su Xing. Her weapon was like a swimming fish, like a butterfly flitting through flowers. Meanwhile, with her wrist as the center, a mournful arc of wind appeared, shooting over with a frightening speed. The formless strength became a tangible substance, and Su Xing's figure slightly rocked. Once again, he rapidly leaned forward to skirt by, having flashed past that forceful sword tip, but an even more concentrated thin saber shadow had already covered over, simply silent, a very much hidden attack. Su Xing's figure immediately reversed into a retreat, but the saber tip in front of him followed like a shadow. Those twinkling purple flames throbbed and unexpectedly accelerated in a split second. The opponent's attacks surprisingly were capable of even this speed. This point completely exceeded Su Xing's expectations. Under an attack like this, Su Xing merely made a thrilling escape. The two retreated and advanced, moving like a storm. In several breaths' time, they unexpectedly retreated halfway down the mountain's cliff face, already unable to retreat farther. Without any hesitation, Su Xing grit his teeth as he rapidly spun his body, suddenly shifting his body horizontally in midair. The saber tip whistled in the air, and there was an ear-splitting crack. It was unknown when Su Xing completely used that superb fighting level of his, but his battle strength roused, instantly already cutting apart all of the attacks of this assassin star general's weapon. But the rapidly appearing and vanishing saber tip was tricky as a viper, seemingly appearing at any arbitrary angle. Lines of blood bloomed, and acute pain attacked his wrists. Not good, she is trying to take the miraculous Bodhi tree. Su Xing immediately sensed what the star general was attempting to do. This made Su Xing startled to the extreme, for he truly did not anticipate a famous star general to be so crafty. The attacks were sinister and could even take things along the way, truly not missing any opportunity. His hand immediately fired a purple lotus flower, and the 12 Langia simultaneously attacked with a clear sound. His wrist had been penetrated to the bone by a cut. Su Xing grit his teeth, yanked it out, and his figure quickly retreated. This assassin star general did not foresee Su Xing would be so firm in extracting the blade. By the time her right hand once again brushed past Su Xing's neck, a cool and elegant figure already did not give her any chances. Wu Xiao arrived, why not show yourself? Humph. A cold laugh accompanied the assassin's lightning-like pouncing body, one slash attacking from above, the other from below. Wu Xiao leaned to dodge the incoming sword tip. Her double-ended sword separately blocked the weapon. The assassin used full power to attack, and in a spurt of energy, the double-edged sabers crossed and stabbed. After Wu Xiao blocked, she flew backwards like a cat. Her attack skill was brilliant, the speed also absolutely quick, but directly confronting the harm star Wu Xiao, she simply was an amateur in front of an expert. Su Xing was secretly excited as he watched the two star generals battle. Each and every one of a few star generals slightly more powerful in martial force were very abnormal. Having just fought a perilous bout with this assassin, under a star general's martial force, cultivators risking their lives to engage at close distance simply were like fish meat on the chopping board just waiting to be slaughtered. Su Xing did not dare be complacent. He attacked Bing Qingxian, purple thunder engulfing the skies, we are not the opponents of this adulterous couple, quickly flee. Su Wangchuan shouted. In spite of the two disciples, he became escape light, fleeing without a trace. Bing Qingxian looked around. Xie Zhenyuan had long disappeared, but he did not know if he was dead or if he had been killed by Wu Xiao. 8. Qingying, leave. Bing Qingxian shouted, the extreme clarity sword array transforming into a green rainbow. When that Qingying heard, the gloom of her whole body condensed, why does sister not show herself for a look? Wu Xiao yelled, slashing. Elder sister, Qingying asks that you be careful for your man. Having been looked upon by Qingying, Qingying naturally will not let him eat or sleep in peace. The woman's tone was ice-cold, finally speaking. She already was a dissipating shadow. They could tell from a glance she clearly entered the star nest. Damn it. Bing Qingxian unsightly cursed, his jade pendant cracking. Suddenly, smoke and clouds dispersed. Humph. Wu Xiao waved her hand, and upon the snowy peak, they heard a chilly wail, leaving behind a deathly stillness. Su Xing, you truly are too stupid. As a star master, you unexpectedly dared to battle a star general. Even if you have Yingmei's battle doctrine, a few star generals are still dangerous. You understand. Wu Xiao saw that Su Xing's body gurgled with blood, and she was somewhat furious. Su Xing laughed, having heard Wu Xiao's concern. He nodded, that couldn't be helped just now. What do you mean could not be helped? You must have many tricks. Wu Xiao sneered. Wifey, just look. Su Xing said, his hand then flipping open a book of treasure light. Wu Xiao was startled, and then she understood Su Xing's behavior just now. As it turned out, he was using the birth treasure outline to grasp the opponent's data. Against that sort of randomly appearing and disappearing assassin-like star general, the oblivious Su Xing indeed would be somewhat anxious. Wu Xiao's expression eased. The book's pages opened, and golden words came into view. Star position, Investigative star, 9, star name, Mu Hong, 10, nickname, unrestrained, 11, true name, Mu Qingying rank, 24th star weapon, flowing frost moon shadow, 12, 2 star, star beast. Rank, realm, 10,000 techniques 3rd stage innate skill, perception, 13, 5 elements, earth yellow rank special move, frontline murderous desire, 14, dark rank special move, death path kiss current status, contractor/Bing Qingxian detailed materials. So she was the investigative star. Wu Xiao's voice sunk. Su Xing drew in a breath. Unexpectedly, she was a heavenly star assassin. Your servant shall go to the most high path to meet her. Recalling the words that Mu Qingying left just now, Wu Xiao sneered. Wifey, it's best to leave it at that. Right now, there are other things that need to be done. Su Xing stopped her. What things? Wu Xiao turned her head. Come back with me, let's go to Evil Smiting Hall together. Su Xing smiled. Bing Qingxian returned to the Void Immortal's abode. Without saying a word, he raised a flying sword and flew out of Clarity Mountain. After he left the range of the Most High Path, Bing Qingxian scanned his all directions, seeing everything clearly. Young master. The investigative star Mu Qingying oddly asked. Bing Qingxian aimed in a direction. Suddenly, light flashed in his eyes. Then, he patted his astral bag, his hand struck a seal, and a clump of clear qi overflowed from his pores, becoming a fog-like as it surrounded Bing Qingxuan's whole body. Faintly discernible, this was a special escape technique he learned from Elder Immortal Extreme Clarity, Clear Sky High Soaring Escape. Bing Qingxian activated the escape technique, increasing his speed, his escape light moving rapidly in a ruse. Sensing Bing Qingxuan's intentions, Mu Qingying was silent. Escaping close to 10,000 li in this manner, Bing Qingxian suddenly stopped and gazed at the horizon. A green light twinkled at the same time. Bing Qingxuan's eyes narrowed, and he immediately dispersed the green rainbow. He stepped onto a flying sword and looked all around. In this remote and uninhabited area, he advanced with his fist cupped, shouting, Master Uncle Wangchuan. The green light stopped, scattered, and revealed the newcomer to be none other than the Most High Path's ancestral master Su Wangchuan. When Su Wangchuan saw Bing Qingxian, his expression immediately eased, not at such a loss as before. He slightly nodded, stroking his beard, as long as you return safely. Ancestral Master Wangchuan, how is senior brother Zhenyuan? Qingxian has only just returned to the Most High Path and has not seen senior brother yet. Qingxian does not dare discuss with headmaster that he anxiously came to find master uncle. Bing Qingxian apprehensively stepped forward. Su Wangchuan did not mind at all, he should be in the immortal's abode meditating. Your servant feels that Wusong apparently spared Zhenyuan. He can recover with a few days' rest, recalling that Azure Dragon Territory number 1 genius Xie Zhenyuan to be so unable to withstand a single blow, Su Wangchuan sighed. Definitely, he had such brilliant talent. As it turned out, not listening to the headmaster's orders and contracting with a trash star general, even needing to protect said star general on the contrary, was euphemistically speaking, truly was ridiculous to the extreme, not knowing the immensity of heaven and earth. The 108 star generals could practically run amok in Liangshan after evil Smiting Hall. As a single star master, even if he was any more talented, that would not be worth a damn. It was a pity that after contracting the star general, the sect could not easily say anything more. Senior brother, why did you contract the long-armed ape? Qing Xian truly does not understand. With senior brother's fame and talent, the Heavenly Star's 5 tigers are not out of the question. If that long-armed ape Ho Jian was swapped for any one of the Heavenly Star's martial generals, Qing Xian and senior brother definitely could have done the utmost to eliminate Wu Song and her man. Bing Qing Xian had a vexed expression. Wu Song. This is too ironic. For the previous Overlord star name, that cold and elegant woman unexpectedly has a man, too. Su Wangchuan recalled that cold and forceful temperament of Wu Xiao's was somewhat worthy of praise. His heart was incomparably envious. We need not discuss further Zhenyuan and that Ho Jian. In short, the headmaster's idea is to make your senior brother Zhenyuan go attract the attention of the other sections. Qing Xian, you will act as backup that catch them off guard. The Most High Path naturally will support you. Bing Qing Xian was grateful, saying with regret, the Harm Star's man has taken Ancestral Master Extreme Clarity's miraculous Bodhi tree and is now like a tiger that has grown wings. Qing Xian basically is not his opponent. Su Wangchuan muttered irresolutely, this indeed is troublesome, but the other sects presumably also have headaches. The things this ancestors said to the Taoist Dragon Spring at the Dragon Spring stream really is not empty chatter. Star Master now inevitably will have powerful magic weapons, and the sect naturally will give you 1 or 2. Many thanks for Ancestral Master's care. Bing Qing Xian cupped his fist, saying, Qingying, you also come out and thank Ancestral Master. A youthful woman appeared. Seeing the graceful and taut curves of her skin-tight outfit, Su Wangchuan's throat gulped. Mu Qingying bowed, respectfully saluting. Su Wangchuan nodded. Being praised like this by a legendary star general, even a heavenly star, he was somewhat pleased with himself. Right. Qing Xian also has an important matter to discuss with Ancestral Master in secret. Bing Qing Xian suddenly lowered his voice. What matter is so important? Su Wangchuan stopped his flying sword. Bing Qing Xian looked all around, whispering, Qing Xian has heard that Ancestral Master Wangchuan has a prehistoric spirit treasure known as the Dark Sword, too, and that there is someone in the sect that has already spied upon Ancestral Master's spirit treasures. Furthermore, they are prepared to strike the Ancestral Master treacherously. Ha, 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 ha. And who is this reckless, this ancestor actually wants to see? Su Wangchuan laughed aloud. He suddenly spotted Bing Qingshuan's gloomy and sinister face, and his pupils all of a sudden contracted. Suddenly, a chill twisted over. Su Wangchuan did not react at all. His neck was cold, and his head flew into the sky, blood spraying several Zhang like a geyser. Dark rank assassination. Death path kiss. The investigative star Mu Qingying's hand clenched the flowing frost moon shadow double edge, easily plucking Su Wangchuan's head. With this sort of least expected sneak attack in addition to a heavenly star's dark rank battle technique, the supercluster middle stage then died without being aware of anything. Bing Qing Xian then easily took Su Wangchuan's astral bag, extremely insidious. Ancestral Master Wangchuan, what use is giving a trash prehistoric spirit treasure to your servant? Rather than giving them to you old but still alive farts, would it not be better to give them to Qing Xian to use in the star duels, to make contributions to the sect? Bing Qing Xian coldly laughed. Immediately destroying the corpse and its traces, Bing Qingxian took a deep breath. Ancestral Master Wangchuan, Qingxian definitely will make the headmaster kill that cheating couple of Wu Song and that man to take revenge for the Ancestral Master. You can feel relieved, ha, 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 ha. The cold laugh reverberated through the thick underbrush, with an indescribable gloom. Su Xing brought Wu Xiao back to the immortal's abode. Seeing Wu Xiao was somewhat meekly following alongside him, the beauties inside the immortal's abode thought their eyes were deceiving them. That harmony between Su Xing and Wu Xiao truly was very abnormal. Young lord, why did you not say anything if you were going out? You made all the sisters worried to death. When Wu Xinjie saw Su Xing was fine, she sighed in relief. Young master, you found Xiao. Lin Yingmei blinked when she saw Wu Xiao, her eyes somewhat complex. Wu Xiao slightly smiled. Your servant already heard Su Xing say that you are preparing to go into the evil smiting hall first. Your servant has come to fulfill her promise, to lend you a helping hand. Wu Xinjie's brow slightly wrinkled, feeling the bodies of Wu Xiao and Su Xing in front of her were somewhat not right, but even with the knowledge stars seeing clearly, she could not say the reason why. Su Xing, how did you find Sister Xiao? Shi Yuan curiously asked. Su Xing summarized the light-shifting image-switching mirror. Besides a few shameful circumstances that he omitted, he did not hide the Most High Path's 2 star masters. This Most High Path is so devious, to unexpectedly have 2 star masters. And Suan softly exhaled. The Azure Dragon territories won clear. This actually is a matter of course, but Xinjie did not expect that she would be the investigative star unrestrained Mu Hong. Wu Xinjie creased her brow, one hand upon her chin, vexed. This merits attention, for the third watch, 3, of these sisters is too terrifying. Third watch? Wu Xinjie explained. Assassin-type star generals were fierce not just in name but in reality. They randomly appeared and disappeared, their methods were terrible and could even said to lack any mercy, treating whichever sister with extreme disregard. The direct fighting capabilities of an assassin star general were not very formidable, but their sneak attack assassination arts were absolutely perfect. Star general assassins had a frightening chain assassination technique. Known as Third Watch, they used the 3 types of their heavenly, earthly and dark skills to consecutively attack. If the target was careless, even a few superb and martial force star generals would fall dead. Previous generations had victorious star generals of this level of ferocity that had been killed off like this. If star generals were like this, then star masters required even less of a mention. If they did not have a life-saving method or did not have a star general sticking close by for protection, in the case they were sneak attacked by an assassin, then they would necessarily die. The Su Xing that had met twice with Mu Hong's attacks had lingering fears. If it was not for his divine sense being so powerful, he would already have had his head removed. Slave servant hears after the 4th phase passes, concealment-type star generals are the very first to die. Yan Yizhen calmly said. This is true. Practically no star general would allow an assassin star general to comprehend the Third Watch. The majority would have been encircled and star fallen before even having reached their heaven rank move. We had better discuss the matter of evil smiting hall. Su Xing, you have 6 sisters, it's 7, there's also little sister Lianxin. Shi Yuan giggled. Wu Xiao nodded, not surprised. 7. In the history of the star duels, this is unprecedented. No wonder Chao Gai would make such a big fuss. How do you plan to arrange this evil smiting hall? Wu Xiao asked. We had better wait until Chai Ling comes and then plan together. Lin Yingmei twitched her lips. The noble star little whirlwind. Wu Xiao was stupefied. Young master has promised to go accompany her into evil smiting hall. Lin Yingmei said. Wu Xiao's expression immediately became considerably odd. She looked at Su Xing, and those eyes seemingly were looking at a monster. As Lin Yingmei said, the day before evil smiting hall was to open, Chai Ling entered Su Xing's immortal's abode along with Jinji and Yuye. The noble star Little Whirlwind was still that kind of graceful, every one of her movements, every smile and frown brimming with a queen-like aura. When she saw 8 sisters inside Su Xing's abode, Chai Ling's shock was only momentary. Immediately, she used the fan to cover her mouth, as if she was smiling yet not. Nevertheless, Jinji and Yuye's eyeballs nearly popped out of their sockets. Chai Ling, you must have obtained your evil smiting hall on your own. Wu Xinjie asked her. Only naturally. Then we shall arrange the affairs of the evil smiting hall. Because of some reasons, we will need to finish in 1 month. Wu Xinjie seriously said. Is it because of Chao Gai? Chai Ling smiled, charmingly glancing sideways at Su Xing, as if she was saying, your troubles this time certainly are not small. Wu Xinjie did not explain. With Chai Ling's intelligence covering the Azure Dragon territory, this was no secret at all. Successive generations of noble stars stayed outside the world of the star duels, but in actuality, they cared more about the star duels than anyone. Oftentimes, they grasped more intelligence pertaining to the star duels than anyone else could, but it was not easy to publish. Pondering briefly, Wu Xinjie then spoke about the arrangements for the evil smiting hall. The star duels had 5 phases. The first phase, heavenly and earthly stars, when the 108 star generals descended; the second phase, birth outline, which was the chance for all of the sisters to take the first step to increasing their strength, for whoever took the birth treasure outline could take a dominant position in the star duels. And this third phase, evil smiting hall, was the most critical hoop, the star beast. Each star general had their own star beast. These star beasts assisted star generals and participated in the star duels, thus turning them into genuine star generals. This was not a matter that could be executed sloppily. Sometimes, earthly stars that wanted to make a change for themselves would necessarily have to rely on their star beasts. But opportunity forever coexists with danger. Most of the time, the Evil Smiting Hall also became the location Star Masters would tussle at because Evil Smiting Hall only allowed Star Generals and Star Masters to enter. With this, Star Masters that ordinarily counted on backup could only count on themselves for life and death. Furthermore, there was a very harsh condition: if a Star General was in the situation before time expired and was without having captured a Star Beast situation, in the case they entered Evil Smiting Hall, they were incapable of leaving. So at this time, Star Generals, or Star Masters would become very dangerous. Of course, the most dangerous thing to Su Xing was not this at all, but that he was the one unprecedented in history to have contracted 7 Star Generals. The Star Duel's third phase, Evil Smiting Hall. All Star Generals raised an Evil Smiting writ to enter inside the Evil Smiting Hall. They would search for a star beast and capture it, unable to leave for a certain amount of time. Due to the star beast and star general being one in body, using the evil smiting writ to capture them was not at all as challenging as Liangshan's 7th and 8th rank demon beasts. According to all of the star generals' differences, all star beasts were not completely the same. The rules were this simple. But there was an aspect that was not simple. Star Masters that wanted to enter along with their Star General had to channel their own star energy together. By doing so, the Star Master could only enter Evil Smiting Hall with 1 Star General. This did not count as anything. Since time immemorial for the Star Duels, Star Masters only had 1 Star General. Young Masters that contracted 2 Star Generals could only accompany one inside. This was for the sake of fairness in the Evil Smiting Hall; otherwise, Star Masters that had contracted 2 Star Generals could seize the chance to be unbridled in the Evil Smiting Hall. The other Star Generals and Star Masters could only but flee without a trace. This was also saying that Su Xing with his 7 beautiful ladies and the little whirlwind, he had become the first Star Master in Liangshan's history to enter 8 times and exit 8 times. I do not need to squander elder brother's time. The first time the somewhat inharmonious Tang Lianxin opened her mouth made all of the girls knowingly smile. Right, I don't need any star beast. The thief Star Shi Yuan agreed. Neither does Suan need to. And Suan also said. They were all spirit energy type star generals. Admittedly, while it was true star beasts were important, they nevertheless really could not insist on such a thing, not when Su Xing's time right now was not plentiful. The girls did not want to make Su Xing work excessively hard for their affairs. Su Xing shook his head, since even Chai Ling is willing to take risks for the sake of a star beast, don't you speak any further like this. Yes, little sisters. If you decline a star beast, we elder sisters will not want them either. Wu Xinjie charmingly blinked. The first-rate heavenly star generals skillful star Little Yi, majestic star Lin Yingmei and leisure star Gong Sun Huang expressed each of their feelings. But if it's this way, Su Xing will have to come and go from the evil Smiting Hall 8 times. Sure Yuan wrinkled her brow, somewhat worried. Since you are willing to believe in me, it's only 8 times. Even if it was 18 times, I would go do it. Su Xing's expression was tender, making them feel at ease. Maiden Mountain is overbearing, and the little sister certainly cannot shrink back. Wu Xinjie cautiously warned. The 3 girls Shi Yuan, and Suan, and Tang Lianxin were silent. An earthly star's star beast is not difficult, even for this palace. You are finished planning? The corner of little whirlwind Chai Ling's mouth wryly smiled. Were it not for the noble star having seen gales and billows, handling matters without alarm, other people seeing a star master help 7 star generals capture star beasts really would have shocked them to death. Since I promised you, I will help you achieve it. Su Xing was calm. This is perfect. Then which one of you shall enter first? The Wu CEO who had been continuously leaned against a pillar to the side and silent flatly spoke. This has already been planned. Wu Xinjie looked around at the sisters. We shall use ranking this time, from lowest to highest. The degree of difficulty for star beasts is also like this. This way can also greatly save time. Everyone did not object. Little whirlwind Chai Ling, there is no problem for you to act as the final one? Wu Xinjie asked. Oh. This palace does not have issue. Anyways, if your man does not help you finish capturing your star beasts, he probably will be inattentive with this palace's affairs as well. Chai Ling thoughtfully smiled. I'm also very professional and virtuous, okay? Su Xing shrugged his shoulders. Chai Ling lightly snorted, as if she was laughing yet not. Wu Xinjie turned her head to look at Wu Xiao. At that time for Chai Ling's star beast, we will have to trouble you, Xiao. Wu Xiao nodded. Everything was decided like this. That same evening, with the bright moon over the sky. At a place on one of Fire Eastern Island's spirit peaks, a youth sat at the summit's platform, bathing in the moonlight, emitting and absorbing the starlight. 12 holy jadeite flying swords flew round his body, their blue light clear, their clear chi dense. The clear light had the efficacy to fix attention, making the lonesome spirit peak and the ice-cold moonlight brim with vitality. In front of the youth, there was a remarkably beautiful fairy sitting cross-legged. This woman's countenance was untainted by dust, her yellow robes fluttering with an earthly spirit yellow chi revolving around her body, but completely lacking expression. She was missing human emotion and had a hardness. The yellow light flashed, shrouding her and the man within. The green and yellow luster then intertwined. They mixed into one whole, growing and multiplying without end, as if it was evolving prehistoric life force. The spirit bamboo and leaves around the man's whole body completely fell, and the woman's chi seemed to surge, winding around the bamboo and ringing. This man was precisely Su Xing, and the beauty sitting in front of him was the true spirit the Earth Book created, Empress Tuesday. The auras of the two mixed. At this time Su Xing was currently injecting his own divine intent into Empress Tu's, cultivating that most profound mystery of Liangshan, external incarnation arts. By doing so, Empress Tu could exist as Su Xing's doppelganger, able to travel Liangshan unrestricted. This way, if he were to encounter trouble in the future, collecting materials for star weapon upgrades also could be twice the work with half the effort. However, to make Empress Tu mix and become a genuine true spirit incarnation was extremely difficult. Just the most basic divine intent mixing was a vast undertaking, requiring things be taken step by step, with absolutely no rushing. A long time afterwards, Empress Tu opened her eyes, a streak of light flitting across them. That girl has always, immediately afterwards, the body turned to dust, vanishing into thin air. Su Xing took a deep breath, putting away the earth book. He rose and walked several steps. Su Xing caught sight of a girl standing on a cliff ahead, facing the wind. Her clothes floated and stuck against her gentle and beautiful body. Underneath the moonlight, those icy eyes seemed even more clear than snow, more splendid than frost. The misty running water's radiance made her appear arrogant, exceedingly. Lin Yingmei. Su Xing could not help but smile. Cultivating external incarnation required absolute silence. Divine intent could not be disturbed, and Lin Yingmei continuously quietly stood guard nearby, quiet as if she could freeze the air. Yingmei. Lin Yingmei snapped out of her train of thought, young master. Never thought it's already been this long. Su Xing walked to her side, gazing at the bright moonlight, sighing. That time, young master truly was completely ignorant of the star duels. Lin Yingmei lightly smiled. Recalling when they originally signed their contract, the two discussed the star duels at a nighttime bonfire just like this. At that time, Su Xing unexpectedly did not know about even star masters and such. At that time, Lin Yingmei only felt the man before her eyes truly was honestly very unreliable, but still she unswervingly protected him. Now, a year had passed in the blink of an eye. Su Xing not only was very reliable, he was also very excessive. Those at his side also went from she alone to 6 sisters serving him, even having relations with thousand-year star generals the likes of Wu Xiao and Chai Ling. She was silent for a moment, and then she spoke. Young master, your servant wishes to go alone to capture her star beast. Could it be I look so useless? Su Xing feigned a hurt expression. Lin Yingmei gently shook her head. No, what Lianxin said was very true. As the majestic star, your servant ought not trouble young master. For this sort of matter, even your servant alone can achieve it. There are still many sisters that have not signed a contract. If they can do so, then Yingmei can do so, too. Su Xing was not one bit surprised Lin Yingmei would say this. His face wore a light smile as he walked over, putting a hand on the girl's shoulder, seemingly delicate yet more heavy than Mount Tai. The majestic star was stunned as she looked at Su Xing's hand, her face slightly red. Yingmei, do you want to give up on your star beast? Su Xing looked straight at the girl. Even the majestic star who was wholly courageous somewhat guiltily looked away, not replying. Star generals that have signed a contract are required to enter together with a star cultivator. If I don't go, you basically can't go. Wu Xinji already informed me about evil Smiting Hall's rules. Are you afraid that I can't capture your star beast? Su Xing smiled and asked. A negative answer. Then, you fear that becoming a complete star general will bring me trouble? Su Xing asked again. This time, Lin Yingmei was silent. Chao Gai said that for complete star generals, that Maiden Mountain will make movements against young master. Your servant is young master's first star general. If your servant renounces her star beast, it cannot be said for certain that, Yingmei, I want to ask you a question. Su Xing suddenly interrupted her. Lin Yingmei blinked. Do you regret contracting with me for the star duels? Su Xing gazed at Lin Yingmei very earnestly. Acting as the first girl to contract with him for the star duels and change their destinies, their original contract was clearly a freak accident, a curious coincidence. To be frank, the troubles I provoke seem to be big. Even Yingmei wants to give up on star beasts. Su Xing bitterly smiled. Your servant ought not make young master worried by saying words of giving up. Lin Yingmei bit her lip. Your young master is not blaming you, but I truly want to ask you. If I met you before we hadn't signed a contract, would you have been willing to be together with me? Su Xing embraced Lin Yingmei, seriously asking. Lin Yingmei froze for a moment. She opened her mouth, yet no words came out. Seems your servant has not tried hard enough to make Yingmei give all her heart, cough, cough. I need to put in more effort for this. Su Xing awkwardly laughed. The corner of Lin Yingmei's mouth slightly rose, showing a noble and pure smile. In that instant, Su Xing only felt the entire world go quiet, all living things lose color. The girl closed her eyes, stepped on tiptoe and wrapped her arms around Su Xing's neck. For the first time, she initiated a kiss on Su Xing. Su Xing held her, touching their inseparable love as much as they wanted. This was the majestic star's answer. 3 Clarities Field. Main Hall. At this time, the atmosphere was a deathly stillness, the air silently making people suffocate. An elderly man sat in the position of head, quivering, but his eyes showed a fierce heat. He was the current headmaster of the Clear Void Most High Path, True Lord Dao Tian. That purple thunder monster was unbridled with Lin Chong, and now with this Wusong, he places no one in his eyes. Bullying this sect, this hatred must be avenged. We cannot forgive him. An old woman and a 40 to 50-year-old large man furiously said as they sat. Below the hall were 2 youths, Xie Zhenyuan and Bing Qingxian. Ever since Bing Qingxian brought back the news of Su Wanchuan's death, the entire Most High Path was shaken. The causes of death of 2 supercluster ancestral masters and a supervoid cultivator were mostly linked to Wusong. This hatred could topple mountains and overturn seas, but ever since 5 Poisons Mountain, in addition to the appearance of Chao Gai, not a single star cultivator was willing now to go handle the Purple Thunder monster or the Harm Star. Wusong now has a star master. The current star duel's variables are too great. Senior Brother Headmaster, it would be best to ask Ancestral Master 3 Clarities for assistance. Otherwise, the Most High Path is about to be destroyed at the hands of these fiend stars. The old woman shouted. Poor Taoist, too, knows. True Lord Dao Tian dignifiedly nodded his head. Afterwards, he ordered, open the sect's magic circle, quietly await for the Ancestral Master to leave seclusion. Qingxian, Zhenyuan, tomorrow is Evil Smiting Hall. Poor Taoist will grant you protective spirit treasures. Remember at all costs to be extremely careful. True Lord Dao Tian instructed, Junior Brother, Junior Sister, you are to protect them for the time being. We defer to Senior Brother's command. Next time we see Wusong, we must kill her. This old woman's yellow sword just happens to use a star general's blood in order to be raised. The old woman sinisterly said. Hearing of the yellow sword, a gloom flashed past Bing Qingshuan's eyes that no one sensed. The second day. Su Xing and the group gathered all together outside the immortal's abode. At nearly the same time, all of the star generals' foreheads twinkled with light automatically. At that instant, each of the star maidens knew that Evil Smiting Hall had formally opened. Have you finished preparations? Knowledge Star Wu Xinjia asked everyone. Everyone solemnly nodded their heads. The 107th ranked Shi Yuan took the lead to walk out. She flipped her hand, and a token appeared. She walked to Su Xing's front, the 2 of them fixing their eyes on one another. Then, they each took in a breath, proceeding to connect their minds, injecting star energy into the Evil Smiting token. The star crests of the 2 simultaneously entered the Evil Smiting token, and then they saw a blackness in front of them. The scenery changed. They saw the surroundings were a boundless deep mountain, both sides filled with sheer cliffs and precipitous cliff faces. The mountains were covered in clouds and rain, drizzling down. Old pines grew all around, their iron trunks clear and crystalline. Far into the distance, the mountains were continuous and unending, exceptionally green. Su Xing stood atop his riding sword to look around. At even farther places, he could even see blue oceans, even deserts, the Gobi, scorched earth, and every sort of scene actually appeared. Looking at those surroundings, there was no visible limit in the tens of thousands of li. This was Evil Smiting Hall. This is Evil Smiting Hall. Su Xing exclaimed. Although he already knew that though Evil Smiting Hall had hall in its name, it actually was a void star world. Inside, there were tens of thousands of large mountains, great rains, and weather marvels too numerous to count. Furthermore, the star beasts particular to star generals also dwelled in every place in the environment. However, the range really was extensive. To go find a star general star beast alone was basically impossible. Fortunately, the star beasts particular to a star general could be sensed, otherwise, let alone taking 4 to 5 days to capture, they would not necessarily find it in 4 to 5 years. Shi Yuan intimately pulled up against Su Xing's arm, extremely content, nearly forgetting the objective of coming to Evil Smiting Hall. Seeing Shi Yuan like this, Su Xing stroked her head. Shi Yuan very pleasurably hummed, looking exactly like a cat. Su Xing was speechless. Once we got into Evil Smiting Hall, you're different. This is the first time this young lady is together with you, Su Xing. Shi Yuan giggled. The first time. Su Xing suddenly understood. Ever since the two signed a contract, this indeed was the first time they were alone together. Although they once did so at the Blooming Water Sword sect, at that time, they were cautious, entering the tiger's den. How was it the same as the current enchanting scenery, this extremely fine landscape of a lover's rendezvous? I've actually somewhat wronged you all. Su Xing was disappointed and frustrated. Recalling yesterday night with Yingmei, he sighed regretfully. Although Su Xing really wanted to be romantic and loving, how could he when the star duels would not even invite people for a meal? 2. They could not make song and dance, could not paint or embroider, could not be that sort of elegant and refined. That kind of calm and refinement, that type of kind-heartedness and gentleness, especially when Maiden Mountain was already baring its fangs, was bound to lead to a battle. They already could not be careless. We're not wronged. Shi Yuan shook her head. It was not as if she did not understand the plan. The hearts and minds of Maiden Mountain's 108 sisters were linked. An increase in the number of sisters would lead only to an increase in joy. Su Xing, if you're the final victor, what will you wish for? The thief star blinked her eyes, very expectant. To destroy the star duels. Su Xing said instantly. I just knew Su Xing would think as much, he. Shi Yuan smiled. Turning things around, for the past 8 generations of star duels, what have those victors wished for? Su Xing recalled. He seemingly had never heard of anything about the whereabouts of the 8 generations of Star Duel's victors, not even any materials on them. You'll probably have to ask elder sister Xinjie or that Chai Ling about this. Shi Yuan shook her head. Su Xing muttered. They were intimate for a moment, even flirting with honeyed words. Shi Yuan really had a sort of impulse to continue this. Despite her satisfaction, despite her happiness, the thief star flea on a drum did not forget the goal of this trip to Evil Smiting Hall. To be able to be sweet and intimate this one time was enough. With regards to the vast majority of participating star generals, they would hesitate only when dead or dying. Who would be like Su Xing, treating star masters as nothing, targeting Maiden Mountain directly? Yuan, where do we go to find your star beast? Su Xing asked. Let this young lady see. Shi Yuan looked around her surroundings for a moment. The thief star changed her previous romanticness, returning to a serious manner. Suddenly, her forehead's star crest lightly twinkled. Su Xing, let's go capture the 3 Burrows Crafty Rabbit. 3 Burrows Crafty Rabbit? When Su Xing heard this name, he broke into laughter. What sort of weird name was this? This young lady's star beast. Shi Yuan giggled. A star general's star beast was not at all fixed. Some were weak, some were strong, some fierce and others docile. Some could be easily captured, and others would need a bitter battle, and the star general could even be killed on the contrary. However, Evil Smiting Hall was extremely large, and star beasts all had to be encountered and could not be requested. They could only depend on luck. Encountering an easily captured one meant they had good luck. If they encountered a thorny one, besides finding one anew, they could only engage in a life and death struggle. They might as well have taken the 3 months' time of evil Smiting Hall, which was more than sufficient to let star generals to go find one. Thus, after evil Smiting Hall, nearly all star generals would have a star beast. Shi Yuan's 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit was classified as the meek type. From its name, the characteristics of this beast could be seen. It was like the thief star, a star beast that possessed superb concealment arts. How do we find it? Su Xing asked. This young lady's way, Su Xing, you better watch, don't let it run off. Shi Yuan patted her chest, jumped off the flying sword and used wind-chasing shadow hiding. Her figure became an indistinct darkness that scattered, and all traces of her disappeared. Su Xing on the flying sword only saw a shadow quickly flit by in midair. With Su Xing's superb seeing clearly, he was unable to see the slightest gap. He knew this was her excellent concealment star magic, not an ordinary hiding magic. It was a pity that Shi Yuan could not exert killing intent when in wind-chasing shadow hiding, otherwise she actually could be even with investigative star Mu Hong. Su Xing put away his thoughts and concentrated on staring at Shi Yuan's each and every moment. Because star generals and star beasts had a psychic reaction, he could not interfere at all. He could only help a bit when the time came to capture the star beast. Evil Smiting Hall lacked time, lacked the feeling of time, and ages afterwards. Shi Yuan finally stopped, beckoned with her hand, and Su Xing flew before her. He saw a cave covered with spirit grass. The 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit's den. Su Xing looked at this nondescript rabbit hole. He honestly was unable to connect a rabbit and a star beast. Yes. Shi Yuan nodded her head, expressionlessly confirming his guess. The 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit has 3 dens. To capture this young lady's star beast is very simple. We just need to destroy these 3 burrows, and it will obediently go with this young lady. Shi Yuan laughed into her sleeve. Su Xing laughed. This truly was much simpler than he imagined. From her astral bag, Shi Yuan felt out a box. The instant she opened it, a confusing smell wafted out. Inside were several particular beast-feeding pills. She used these to attract the 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit, otherwise the rabbit would not come out and destroying the star beast's burrows would be unachievable. Then, Shi Yuan drew a magic circle the thief star specially used around the beast-feeding pills. Su Xing carefully covered his figure. He entered oneness of heaven and man's state and sized it up from nearby. His face moved, and Su Xing's divine sense perceived there was a small object that dug out of the rabbit hole. This made Shi Yuan delighted, and suddenly, her whole body's presence thoroughly hid. Her eyes stared without blinking at the place the beast-feeding pills were at. That small beast dug at the rabbit hole for a long time, then extended out its head. A sneaky hair appeared. This rabbit was wholly snow-white, a pair of jadeite eyes spinning round and round incessantly, even looking left and right from time to time, a timid to the extreme appearance. If it was not for this white rabbit's head having another thin eye, seemingly a third eye, Su Xing honestly would have thought it was unmistakably a normal rabbit. The star beast was psychic, that appeared unmistakable. The 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit twitched its nose, still sniffing in the direction of the beast-feeding pills. The human-like completely engrossed expression that appeared on its face from time to time made Su Xing not know whether to laugh or cry. That 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit climbed out from the hole. Standing outside the magic circle and sniffing for a moment, its jadeite eyes spun several circles in the surroundings of those beast-feeding pills. Nevertheless, it was very cautious, as expected of the star beast worthy of being called the thief stars. Shi Yuan stuck out her tongue. The 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit somewhat unsatisfactorily sniffed from where it was, and it seemed to be planning something sinister. The materials inside the beast-feeding pill were personally mixed by the thief star herself. This completely was done according to the 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit, so she did not fear it would be unmoved. Seeing that Three Burrows' crafty rabbit so sensitive, Shi Yuan was increasingly cautious, her expression glimpsing nervousness. After all, the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit was the most adept at fleeing and hiding arts. They only need not be careful, and they could possibly waste all of their effort. Furthermore, they basically had no hope of drawing it out of the rabbit hole the second time. After the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit circled around the array, its two long ears swayed endlessly, as if it sensed abnormalities in the nearby spirit qi, slowly without walking into the array. Su Xing and Shi Yuan both stayed calm, not even breathing, their whole bodies completely blending into one with their surroundings. The Three Burrows' crafty rabbit then ran back inside its rabbit hole, then it climbed out again a moment later. Going back and forth several times like this, seeing that the beast-feeding pill was still there, the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit in the end only had a bit of intelligence. It could not bear the lure, and its figure flashed. Unexpectedly, after several vertical hops, it disappeared into the nearby underbrush. Su Xing froze, somewhat not returning to his senses. Just during the time Su Xing was staring blankly, on the other side of the underbrush, a white figure flashed. That white rabbit unexpectedly had a speed that brought after images. Instantly, it flew from the grass right in front of the beast-feeding pills. The moment it lowered its head and stuffed the beast-feeding pill into its mouth, it wanted to run. Shi Yuan had already prepared for this. She was but the thief star, and how could she allow it to use this small trick? Striking a hand seal, the surroundings suddenly raised a square yellow barrier, firmly sealing this place off. The Three Burrows' crafty rabbit screeched. Shi Yuan did not hesitate at all to launch a star crest. At the same time, Su Xing moved his flying sword to break the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's den. The Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's figure flashed, and its whole body's snow-white fur became pitch black. Su Xing, it's about to flee. Shi Yuan shouted, throwing out a golden net that was in her hands. The Three Burrows' crafty rabbit transformed into a shadow, immediately breaking through the magic circle. Then, it moved about at high speed along the ground, the speed unexpectedly swift to beyond reasonable limits. Don't let it back inside the burrow. Shi Yuan yelled. Su Xing already knew about the next matter. Immediately afterwards, he urged the flying swords to go forth. However, they were not for the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit, rather he extended his divine sense and searched the entire area. He searched for the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's dens. Only by destroying its burrows would it be possible for it to follow Shi Yuan. Otherwise, everything was for naught. Found it. Su Xing very quickly spotted one hole, delight upon his face. But that Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's speed unexpectedly was incredibly fast. The afterimages dazzled, the real and fakes indistinguishable. Seeing that it was about to enter the hole, the flying swords were too late. Su Xing grit his teeth, stabbing one sword into his heart. With such a heavy injury, he used the chaotic tail escape to finally rush right in front of the entrance to the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's den, slashing apart the entrance. The Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's figure twisted in midair from fright when it saw Su Xing, unexpectedly drawing an arc as it shot towards another direction. When Su Xing saw this, he pursued with the chaotic tail escape. This time was very easy. The Three Burrows' crafty rabbit's shadow flickered, its presence practically absent. If it was not for the Three Burrows' crafty rabbit having an aura footprint similar to the thief star's, Su Xing honestly could not sense it. Worthy of being called the thief star's star beast, it was incredible as expected. Su Xing endured the sharp pain, not stopping his pursuit. The chaotic tail escape could be said to be an abnormal escape technique, especially its speed that left the giant rock spreads its wings and flies feeling inferior. But every time he used this chaotic escape technique, his body would sustain grave injuries. First of all, it had its weaknesses, otherwise this chaotic tail escape truly would be the pinnacle cultivation method of Liangshan, and neither did he know what sort of character that Taoist Master Toad was. How could he have created such a cultivation method that angered men and gods alike? Chasing for a moment, the Three Burrows crafty rabbit abruptly turned, its shadow indistinctly flashing. In front appeared an enormous lake. This lake's light was clear as a mirror's, azure and quiet, stretching as far as the eye could see. Although it could be said that only because the lake did not have a sea breeze's salty taste, it was nevertheless irregular. Fuck, it can't be. Su Xing felt things were far from reassuring when he saw this, the chaotic tail escape flying out and about to nab the Three Burrows crafty rabbit. The Three Burrows crafty rabbit distorted, breaking free of his hand. With a putong sound, it unexpectedly jumped into the lake. Su Xing did not hesitate at all to dive into the lake, but the Three Burrows crafty rabbit had shockingly disappeared without a trace. Su Xing searched for a long time and did not find the den the Three Burrows crafty rabbit was hiding in, so inwardly annoyed that he forgot about his injuries. Climbing onto the bank, he sat atop a stone slab. Su Xing panted and shook his head. His whole body, because the chaotic tail escape hurt terribly, was covered in blood, and he had to even ingest several pills. Fortunately, he did not fully use the chaotic tail escape, otherwise his body would be unable to endure. It seemed this chaotic tail escape could not be used often. Sitting atop the shore, Su Xing on one hand pondered a solution to the Three Burrows crafty rabbit. This rabbit now was borrowing the waterways to conceal itself. If he actually had to search for it in a perhaps ocean-like lake, that would truly be finding a needle in a haystack. It seemed he had to use other methods, and he wondered if Shi Yuan did not notice. A moment later, Su Xing then saw Shi Yuan very urgently rush over. Su Xing stood up, was just about to speak about the matter of the Three Burrows crafty rabbit. How could he have anticipated that the thief star's eyes would be moist? Without saying a word, she threw herself into Su Xing's chest, just like a scene of meeting again after a life-and-death journey. Su Xing was frozen. How could the just still perfectly alright Shi Yuan be this emotional? Su Xing. What did you do? Shi Yuan bit her lip, indignantly saying. What did I do? Su Xing was at a loss. Seeing Shi Yuan's eyes unexpectedly had tears, he was instantly furious. Yuaner, who bullied you? It's you. Shi Yuan puffed up her cheeks and snorted. Me? Su Xing still did not understand. Shi Yuan again anxiously looked at the injuries all over Su Xing's body. Seeing that leftover faint scar on his chest, she truly was angered to madness. Su Xing, who let you use that escape technique? How can this young lady explain this to the sisters? So it was concern. Su Xing's heart warmed, and he stroked her head. It's okay, little sister Suan these days has been helping me with massages. My body's very robust. Don't use it like this. There's still the other elder sisters after this. I don't want this. Shi Yuan had a very serious expression. Su Xing using the chaotic tail escape just now practically cut apart her heart, and she forgot all about the star beasts. Su Xing knew that she was concerned for him, however, with evil smiting hall so large, there was no danger. That moment just now truly was too urgent that Su Xing used the chaotic tail escape. He also knew that this escape technique could not be so rashly used. He nodded, I promise you. Shi Yuan this time beamed in happiness and wiped the corner of her eyes. You can't actually be crying. Su Xing froze. Why can't I cry? Shi Yuan stared, saying, just by seeing your whole body covered in blood, I just can't bear it. So loathsome, you don't care about this young lady at all. Su Xing's heart bubbled with a warm feeling. That star beast escaped, what do we do? Su Xing steered things back on track. Oh, the star beast. Shi Yuan then remembered. She shook her, indifferently saying, with a lake this big, it seems we won't find it. We'd better find others. If we can't find anything in a few hours, we might as well go back. Su Xing wanted to say something when thief star Shi Yuan giggled. Su Xing, you go wash your body clean first. This young lady will go look in the surroundings. The Three Burrows crafty rabbit's final den should be around here. Su Xing was also uncomfortable seeing his whole body covered in blood and knotted. Seeing the lake water in front of him so limpid, Su Xing undressed. To speak of it, it had been a long time since he had enjoyed something like this. Just as he was savoring this, he suddenly heard rustling sounds behind a rock. Su Xing listened. How could he not know what Shi Yuan was doing? Yuaner, what do you call this young lady for? A shy voice came from the side. Su Xing glanced out the corner of his eye, and he nearly leaked blood. He saw Shi Yuan was already stark naked, having taken off her skin-tight jumpsuit. The girl's figure was good. What should have curved out did, and what should have curved in also did. Her skin was glossy, and having only just seen Wu Xiao's body not long before, Su Xing thought he was experiencing déjà vu. Then, he had an epiphany. Su Xing, Shi Yuan softly called. Su Xing returned to his senses. The girl unexpectedly already walked right to his front, wearing not a single thread, every minute detail visible. A youthful smell attacked him in the face, a burst of blood and qi straight to his dantian, surging straight to his forehead. Really, you? What would you do if other people saw you? Su Xing raised his head, glancing up from the girl's valley. Seeing Su Xing's somewhat bashful appearance, Shi Yuan's shyness greatly eased. She crouched, the charming and gentle scene finally considered to have eased by a lot. However, with a man and woman together, each not wearing anything, in a married couple's bath together, any way it was seen, this was romantic. This young lady would never let anyone else look. Shi Yuan began to wipe clean her body right in front of Su Xing, her cheeks blushing, her head shyly lowered. Her movements were very charming. Only by exercising the absolute sincerity soul technique did Su Xing ease somewhat. Su Xing, I'll help wash you. Shi Yuan swam over, bashfully speaking. Nevertheless, her movements easily pounced into Su Xing's embrace. That girl's particular softness made Su Xing unable to hold back. Now is not the time to make trouble. Su Xing said. Let this young lady help you. Ordinarily, elder sister Xinjie monopolizes you, and this young lady hasn't any chances. Shi Yuan was very wronged. Su Xing was very speechless. He should long have known in front of him was a little floozy. Su Xing, help me, Shi Yuan whispered into his ear. Her hands began to wander over Su Xing's body, the man and woman trusting each other fully. For Su Xing to still be able to remain unmoved, he either was truly a sage or a eunuch. Her nephrite warmth and fragrance was upon his chest, and the two immediately were indistinct, afterwards fiercely kissing. Their tongues wound around each other like snakes, moving back and forth, exchanging saliva. Although he was passionate, Su Xing's divine sense nevertheless did not relax one bit, expanding both left and right. He was certainly not one to allow Yuaner's beautiful body be seen by other people. Shi Yuan very quickly began panting. Her body restlessly writhed, especially those legs with the valley with a saturating fragrance. Even in the water, he could feel a sort of particular moistness, stimulating Su Xing that his lower body became iron. Both his hands grabbed Shi Yuan's cute butt and kneaded it. Shi Yuan could endure no longer, her eyes vaguely teary. She completely forgot about evil Smiting Hall and star beasts. This sort of satisfaction of being with Su Xing together for the first time became a surging high. Su Xing, you want me? Shi Yuan's tone was intimate. Su Xing still retained his final shred of reason. This bottom line could not break in any way. Exchanging momentary passion for an injury, it was Su Xing who was incapable of accepting this, and it was he who was with an outstanding final bottom line. Wait until after we finish with you star beast, okay? I really can't bear it. Shi Yuan bit her lip, completely seductive. Her slender legs straddled Su Xing's waist. She wanted to make herself enter. This damned maiden mountain. Why did star generals have to pay such a great price for losing their virginity? Cursing in his heart the person who set this rule, Su Xing helplessly held up Shi Yuan's butt with both hands, not letting her run amok. Su Xing, your down there is obviously so naughty. Shi Yuan stroked it with one hand. Su Xing quivered, truly wishing he could behave worse than a beast for once. Your Honor, Maiden Mountain is still monitoring us. Wouldn't you losing your virginity right now make Maiden Mountain provoked? Su Xing kissed her. Shi Yuan also greatly sobered up. Involving that damned Maiden Mountain, the thief star was extremely indignant. For the first time, she even hated the place that gave birth to them. Shi Yuan also knew that losing her virginity now would someday become Su Xing's burden. Regardless of how it was put, losing her virginity needed to come after she became a genuine star general. Annoying, I even wanted to get a step ahead of Xinjie. Shi Yuan grumbled. What do you take your young master to be? Su Xing touched her, making Shi Yuan cry out in surprise. Her face reddened in sweat. She pounded him in the stomach, pretending to be angry. Su Xing, you're so bad. With a soft beauty on his chest, Su Xing also could not bear it. Feeling that the water temperature between her legs was increasingly fiery, Shi Yuan drew near his ear, enticingly saying, Su Xing, I followed elder sister Xinjie and learned the fine lady's essence gathering. I've never had the chance to try it. How about I help you? Su Xing did not say a word of objection. Shi Yuan giggled. Suddenly, she held her breath and dove into the water. Afterwards, Su Xing felt his lower body's heat immediately enter an ice-cold orifice. Truly, that was incredible. The water current rubbed by, bringing a shivering pleasure. Shi Yuan's figure in the water was somewhat indistinct, but she vaguely began to get noisier. A moment later, Shi Yuan burst out of the water's surface and took in a deep breath. The corner of her mouth still had a thread of milky white. Lapping it up, she completely showed charm. So much, you really made me nearly die. Su Xing sighed. Shi Yuan giggled, swam over, and the two once again embraced each other. She rested her head on Su Xing's shoulder, very quiet and very pleasured. This moment, there was nothing artificial, nothing ambiguous, nothing erotic. There was only a lake-like tranquility. All right, we should get out. We can't delay. Better first help you find the star beast. We can't have come in vain. Su Xing patted her. Shi Yuan actually was very satisfied. Just at this moment, in an instant, the tranquil lake water suddenly bubbled. They saw something swim towards them, and the lake water was opened by a white wave several dozen meters high. When Su Xing saw this, he immediately hugged Shi Yuan to his chest, opening one hand in preparation to handle this thing. The white wave collapsed and parted. They saw a moving body flip out of the waters, as if she was a leaping dolphin. Her golden hair was like sea waves, bound with a sea blue ribbon. Her skin was white as snow, moist as jade. What made Su Xing and Shi Yuan flabbergasted was that girl's attire. It was a set that was very much like what Su Xing was familiar when he was on Earth, a bikini. She had a blue muslin damask, a seaside color inlaid with white, which hung with dull golden jewelry. That skin that exceeded snow was under the double contrast of lake water and sunlight. Like a fully occupied jade in the world, her beauty made people stifled. This scene really was incomparable. Even if she possessed a gorgeous beauty, the Su Xing that had seen every sort of erotic scene was also blank. His nose very customarily grew hot. The white wave split apart, and the girl somersaulted. She stepped upon the lake water, her sea blue eyes completely limpid, as if they were the ocean reflected underneath the moonlight. A beauty and serenity encompassing everything, she stared at the naked man and woman in front of her. Without any apprehension at all she waved, her face wearing a slight smile, "Hi." Ah. Su Xing and Shi Yuan were dumb as wooden chickens. "Have you finished your affair?" The girl smiled and squinted, her eyes spinning about, a ridiculing and teasing expression. fuck, where did this one pop out of? Su Xing and Shi Yuan quickly separated. When they hopped onto the rocks, they already finished wearing their clothes. Who are you? Shi Yuan was red in the face, crimson in the ears as she pointed at her. You're a star maiden. Su Xing felt he had asked a very stupid question. Besides star generals, evil Smiting Hall would have only star masters, and the girl before them was standing on water. Clearly, this was a star general's ability. I'm called Yuqi. The girl made a V sign with her hand, greeting them with a smile. Afterwards, she nonchalantly said, Yuqi watched you two for a very long time. Was that an underwater blowjob just now? That's very difficult. Shi Yuan even had the mind to die. She stared at this young girl wearing revealing clothing, gnashing her teeth, shameless, unexpectedly peeping on me. Su Xing was speechless. As it turned out, when he extended his divine intent into the surroundings, he had forgotten to put it on the water. However, what the girl in front of him wore was high, indeed. Her skin surpassed snow, appearing very fragile. That fluffy golden hair flowed as two golden rivers. Her hair was a water-moistened gold color, truly a dazzling beauty. You watched for so long, what were you thinking of doing? Seeing the girl did not have any hostility, Su Xing organized his thoughts and asked. Yuqi did not misjudge you too. To be able to make a sister do a blowjob in the water for that long, even if little sister had devoted herself, she could decline. This still actually the first time Yuqi has seen a man like you. Yuqi showed a pure white smile, a tender and magnanimous smile. As it happened, the words she said made Su Xing and Shi Yuan somewhat ashamed to show their faces. Su Xing's cheeks were very thick and he was somewhat ashamed. Can Yuqi request that you help for something? Yuqi felt that what she wore was apparently a bit revealing. She extended a hand and beckoned. The lake water bubbled forth and rolled around her body, transforming into a light blue long skirt. That beautiful skin was covered, as if the world dimmed a bit, making Su Xing feel that it was a pity. Who wants to help you? Shi Yuan twitched her lips, disdainful. Yuqi was all smiles as she looked at Su Xing, knowing he was a person who made up his mind. Yuqi can also help you too. Su Xing, don't mind her. Let's go. Shi Yuan grabbed Su Xing and wanted to leave. Su Xing shook his head. He brimmed with curiosity towards that easygoing manner, that self-confident smile of the girl in front of him. He asked, what matter? What other matter could evil Smiting Hall have? Yuqi helplessly said, of course, it's a star beast. Yuqi originally was in this lake catching the urgent sea white spirit python. Too, but it escaped onto the cliffs. I cannot catch it. Su Xing, are you willing or not to help a virtuous woman? Yuqi covered her mouth, her blue eyes blinking. Su Xing. Shi Yuan shouted in displeasure. What price are you willing to pay? Su Xing chuckled. Could it be you want me to help give you a blowjob? Yuqi bit her middle finger. Su Xing's cheeks reddened. She spoke too shamelessly. We also want to catch a star beast, and it might have escaped into these water. Su Xing calmed himself down. The waters are but Yuqi's domain. I help you find it and you help me. No problem. Su Xing nodded. Shi Yuan wanted to stop them, but she choked back what she was on the verge of saying. She could not possibly let go of a good chance for the 3 Burrows crafty rabbit for the sake of preference. Even if she was willing, Su Xing would not be willing. And what is that? A rabbit hole. Shi Yuan slowly replied. Yuqi's white finger gently drew a circle in the air. A clear river visible to the naked eye rolled in the surroundings, the waters bringing a distinct blue light. The girl's eyes also became vast and deep like the ocean. Su Xing had never seen such gentle and beautiful eyes and was stunned for a moment. Yuqi softly laughed. The waters of such a large lake suddenly changed, dancing under the girl's fingertip as if it had a spiritual nature. A blue wave swam about underwater, like a spirit under the water. There was a glittering and gorgeous starlight, and the entire lake instantly became a supercluster that instant. Even Shi Yuan was somewhat amazed. Su Xing could not discern the star position of the girl in front of him. He brought out the birth treasure outline, the golden pages in his hand. Su Xing smiled. Do you mind if I take a look at your secrets? Peeking into a lady's secrets is but very improper conduct. Yuqi objected. Just treat it as payback for peeping on us just now. Su Xing waved his hand, then opening the birth treasure outline. Yuqi rolled her eyes. Star position, damage star, 3, star name, Zhang Shun nickname, white stripe in the waves, 5, true name, Zhang Yuqi rank, 30th star weapon, white water mirror heart, 6, 3 star, star beast, urgency white spirit python, 7th rank, realm, 10,000 techniques 4th stage innate skill, wave treading water escape, 7, 5 elements, water yellow rank special move, wild bee butterfly wave, 8, dark rank special move, all rivers reach seas, 9, current status, no contractor, can be conquered, detailed materials. As expected, she was a water-type star general. White water mirror heart, Su Xing had actually never heard of this star weapon. Taking a look, he noticed Zhang Yuqi's ring finger wore a watercolored ring. As if it was a twisting water dragon, it was inlaid with a dragon pearl, emitted a blue light and had 3 stars. This ought to be that white water mirror heart. Shall you introduce this sister? Zhang Yuqi smiled. This is Shi Yuan. Su Xing said. Shi Yuan pouted, grunting at this voyeur elder sister. So you are little sister thief star. A while afterwards, the watercolored rays inside the lake gradually dimmed. The white stripe in the waves used a water form tracking star magic. Indeed, she found several caves. Su Xing inwardly exclaimed that the white stripe in the waves in front of him truly was too convenient, worthy of she who was a water general. Come with me. Zhang Yuqi jumped into the lake, her natural and forced figure more nimble than fish or dragon. Her slender jade legs dolphin-kicked, looking exactly like a mermaid freely traveling in the water. Those jade feet truly were perfect. Su Xing followed along behind, sighing. His wrist hurt, for Shi Yuan pinched him. Su Xing, you look like you want to eat her up. Shi Yuan's jealous voice entered his mind. Su Xing awkwardly laughed. However, the white stripe in the waves in front gave Su Xing a feeling that honestly was very breathtaking, like the legendary mermaid. The lake's depths were very clear. The reefs, aquatic plants and normal fishes and prawn frolicked about, constructing a tranquil scene. Zhang Yuqi's figure flashed, a graceful stopping motion. She stood in the water's depths, her hand pointed at a cave covered by the aquatic grasses. According to what Shi Yuan said, the 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit could establish 3 holes wherever it wished, regardless of whatever environment it was in. Water depth or flames were not a problem. Fortunately, that 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit had not yet opened the 3rd eye. Otherwise, the 3 caves could arbitrarily move. It would simply be impossible to catch without at least a month. However, constructing one of its caves inside the water truly was very creative. Fortunately, they had the white stripe in the waves, otherwise, they would have only found it after who knew however long. Do you want me to help you? This young lady can do it herself. Shi Yuan blurted. Her hoodwinking flying claws drilled into the cave, and the burrow leaked water bubbles. The star crest on Shi Yuan's forehead flashed, the 2 claws incessantly waving, wanting to pull the 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit out. She did not have to keep any apprehensions as this was the final cave, anyways. It seemed that the 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit inside the cave was putting up a struggle, but Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi retreated to the side. This duel seemed endless. The time they held their breaths grew longer. Su Xing gradually felt his lungs were somewhat uncomfortable, but he felt embarrassed to disturb Shi Yuan. Zhang Yuqi's face wore a slight smile as she swam to Su Xing's side, like a nimble water snake. Her finger waved, and the white water mirror heart shot a bolt of blue light into Su Xing's throat. Suddenly, his lungs' discomfort disappeared. Su Xing nodded at her, expressing his thanks. Zhang Yuqi easily danced in the water, teasing, "Little sister, sure Yuan's star weapon is only 2-star. As her man, you cannot be only just giving strength to your lower body and not care for your upper body." Su Xing, the girl's laugh penetrated through the lake water, easily pouring into his ear. "Why don't you sign a contract?" Su Xing coughed, discovering it was actually very easy to speak underwater. "Star cultivators are cats upon the riverbank, and I am the fish in the water, a shark. Can a shark sign a contract with a cat?" Zhang Shun countered with a question. "You might find a big cat." Su Xing was not to be outdone. "A big cat that cannot enter the water and can only stay in the sewers?" Zhang Yuqi innocently winked. Just as Su Xing wanted to speak, Shi Yuan already swam between them, displeased as she interrupted them. She pulled Su Xing, and Su Xing understood. He raised a flying sword, and glancing at Zhang Yuqi, he rushed up. Although Zhang Yuqi could not use a flying sword, the speed of her swimming movements underwater was not the least bit slow. When she breached the water's surface, she was like those mermaids. "Yuaner, how was it?" Su Xing asked. "Successful." The 3 Burrows Crafty rabbit appeared on Shi Yuan's shoulder, less panic-stricken compared to before and more docile. The 107th ranked star beast actually was very simple. "Can you help me now?" Zhang Yuqi smiled. "Su Xing doesn't have time, elder sister. Feel relieved you can be a shark in the water by yourself." Shi Yuan giggled. Zhang Yuqi did not become angry, only gazing at Su Xing like this. This was actually the first time Su Xing had caught sight of such a completely defenseless star maiden, but although the damaged star in front of him smiled innocently, beneath the surface, she was absolutely two-faced. Su Xing said, "On what basis did you believe I would help you catch that white spirit python? Don't forget these are the star duels now. You and I are enemies." In the past star duels, star masters often liked to kill star generals inside evil Smiting Hall. You should know this point. If you truly wanted to kill me, would you still have taken the risk to dive together with me? Su Xing laughed in spite of himself, for what she said was spot on. A person that actually exhibited killing intent definitely would comprehensively plan and would be completely unlike Su Xing, who placed himself into the waters that Zhang Yuqi excelled in. That undoubtedly was inviting death upon himself. With this thinking, the thoughts of the damaged star before them could be said to be careful deductions. Dazzled, Su Xing broke into a cold sweat when he thought of this. If Zhang Yuqi wanted to kill him, even if he did not die, perhaps he would have to leave the evil Smiting Hall. Shi Yuan also thought of this, drawing in a breath. The innocent and harmless smile of white stripe in the waves in front of them was honestly too deceptive. Su Xing had forgotten this was evil Smiting Hall, the first step to beginning the death battle of star generals. "It can't be only because of this that you would believe in me this much?" Su Xing asked. "Of course not." Zhang Yuqi snapped a crisp finger snap, smiling with narrowed eyes. "Did you think me watching for that long was only because I wanted to enjoy an erotic scene moving back and forth? Please, that is as boring as fish copulating." Su Xing, Shi Yuan, this girl appeared so joyous and cute, yet her speech was damage, not just in name but in reality. "I saw that little sister Shi Yuan unexpectedly helped do that sort of thing. This demonstrated you were at the very least worthy of believing in, worthy for a sister to go trust. Speaking from a certain perspective, you would not be Yuqi's enemy, because a man that can make a sister go trust him for all her life must be very gentle. Yuqi surmises, Su Xing, that you even do not wish to initiate a star duel. If someday you are fortunate enough to obtain Maiden Mountain's wish, it cannot be said for certain that you would allow us sisters to end the star duels." Zhang Yuqi calmly analyzed. Not a single word she said was off, making Su Xing and Shi Yuan listen tongue-tied, inwardly praising her. Shi Yuan was even somewhat suspicious of whether or not the white stripe in the waves before them from the very beginning had been spying on Su Xing. In actuality, there was another reason that the damaged star white stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi could be this confident, and that was her star weapon, White Water Mirror Heart. Acting as the rarely seen ring star weapon in the 108, the White Water Mirror Heart also possessed the ability to see through a person's feelings. It was able to more or less appraise the good and evil of a person's heart, so Zhang Yuqi then dared to have discourse with Su Xing the Star Master in Evil Smiting Hall. And it was precisely because of this White Water Mirror Heart, having reached the third phase, that damaged star Zhang Shun still did not find a single man she took to her fancy. You can test gold by using fire, test a woman by using gold, test a man by using a woman. How is this? Has Yuqi felt you out correctly? Zhang Yuqi smiled. If, Su Xing, you truly want to betray Yuqi, then Yuqi can only admit it. Su Xing heard that the final phrase Zhang Yuqi still had some worry. Su Xing inwardly laughed and nodded. I shall do my utmost. Su Xing, Shi Yuan twitched her lips. The other elder sisters are still waiting. We won't use much time. Su Xing smiled. The white stripe in the waves analyzed very correctly. To say the least, something like betrayal, Su Xing truly did not wish to do that. It was only helping her capture the urgent sea white spirit python, nothing more. It was not at all something serious. Actually, Su Xing did not lack another way of thinking, not killing them underwater and on the contrary helping them clearly demonstrated the girl's heart was not bad. It could not be said for certain that someday she could help in the star duels. The road is a bit far. If I were to go by water, it would be somewhat slow, and I fear it will require some time. Do you mind? Zhang Yuqi said. Are you not thinking of having me take you there? Su Xing could not help smiling. Get on the flying sword. Zhang Yuqi gently smiled, not hesitating in the slightest to hop onto the flying sword, coming on more naturally than Shi Yuan. A sea wave's fragrance soaked into his lungs. The girl's hair was velvety, slightly more gentle than water. Her butt stuck against Su Xing without caring in the slightest. Shi Yuan behind wrapped her arms around Su Xing. Su Xing took in a deep breath, and the flying sword skyrocketed. How did you find me? Su Xing asked curiously as he flew. Overlooking Evil Smiting Hall, so large and boundless, Evil Smiting Hall was the place star generals caught star beasts, but it appeared simply completely uninhabited, a suffocating quiet. Did you think that I am called White Stripe in the waves for nothing? Let alone your movements that were so fierce. Zhang Yuqi slightly raised her neck, the corner of her mouth holding back a smile. She deliberately stepped backwards, making her body stick to Su Xing's chest. He clearly felt the girl's lustrous skin. Acting as a good man, you meet the standard. But as a good star master, you completely fail. Zhang Yuqi continued to speak. I'm all ears. Although little sister Shi Yuan is neither a martial general nor a magic general, the thief star has very formidable concealment arts. Yet little sister's star weapon is merely 2-star. At the third stage, not reaching 4-star is disappointing, and your galaxy middle stage is somewhat lacking. Do not blame Yuqi for speaking so unpleasantly. Current star masters are subpar, and galaxy middle stage star masters are the most low class. How did Su Xing feel this was so awkward? Elder sister, you're the one that's low class, you voyeur. Shi Yuan saw that Zhang Yuqi was underestimating Su Xing, unhappily saying, that I do not upgrade my star weapon is because Su Xing wants to help elder sister Yingmei, elder sister little Yi, elder sister little Huang. Elder sister Yingmei is a heavenly star, and her star weapon is already 3-star. You honor. Shi Yuan realized her slip of the tongue and fell silent. Zhang Yuqi blinked, yet she only felt Shi Yuan was kidding. A star master having 2 of the sisters was the limit. She would not believe one would have 3. Seeing Shi Yuan so very in love with Su Xing, she only took it to be her being unaccepting and angry. If there truly is a heavenly star at 3-star, that can be considered middle class. You sound like you know a lot. Su Xing smiled. Then I'm actually very curious who can be upper class. There is only one who is upper class. If you see a 15 to 16-year-old youth star master in the future, the farther you are from him, the better. This is Yuqi's advice. A 15 to 16-year-old youth? Su Xing seemed to have seen one somewhere. Yuqi hears his star general is already 4-star. 4-star. An earthly star then. Shi Yuan was unconvinced. She is a heavenly star, and she is also a super powerful star general. In martial force, she ranks in the top 3. Impossible. 4-star. This is too quick. Elder sister must be joking. According to Shi Yuan's understanding, the elder sister before her must be two-faced. Destined star weapons used 3-star as a threshold. 4-star materials often were extremely rare and expensive. 4-star in the current phase as well as being a heavenly star basically was unrivaled. Shi Yuan knew that even if it was that 8th-generation star duel obsessed with star weapon upgrades, the previous frightening 9-star destined weapon harm star reportedly had only reached 4-star at the 3rd phase. However, that she could reach 4-star was more or less somewhat lucky. Could it be this generation would again turn out another 9-star Wusong? Su Xing was pensive. Zhang Yuqi's face wore a slight smile as she shrugged. Her gaze was looking ahead, at green mountains and clear waters, the flickering lights and passing shadows, at the white clouds and horizon. Evil Smiting Hall seemed to have become incomparably tiny, and she was in amazement. Stop over there. Zhang Yuqi pointed at a valley. This valley had a small lake. That lake was somewhat odd, slowly squirming and rolling with an eddy. That is a star beast. Shi Yuan's good eyes saw that. It is my star beast. Zhang Yuqi corrected. That is the urgency white spirit python. Su Xing was stunned. It was completely formed from water. Coiled up, it basically was a lake if one did not carefully look. As long as its outer water screen is broken, that will do. Zhang Yuqi said. Woo, it looks really big. Shi Yuan was somewhat anxious when she saw that lake water that could suck people down. Zhang Yuqi eyed, are men not fond of being big? Only then would a woman be satisfied. What are you saying? Shi Yuan clicked her tongue. Don't say senseless words. We only need to break its outer water cover. Su Xing asked. Zhang Yuqi nodded. For a star general to capture a star beast, generally there were particular conditions. Shi Yuan's was destroy the 3 crafty rabbits' dens, and this urgent sea white spirit python was not very difficult either. After breaking the outer water cover, Zhang Yuqi naturally had a way to capture it. In the water, I already was close to capturing it. But this brute unexpectedly escaped onto the shore, and I was at wit's end. The white stripe in the waves was a water general. In the water, she could stir up havoc, but if she broke away from the water, Zhang Yu probably would be no better than Shi Yuan. It is already somewhat weak. Your man ought to very easily undo it, or perhaps driving it back into the water can work. Su Xing beckoned with his hand, and the 12 Lengia stuck beside him, their green lights hovering. Zhang Yuqi saw that the flying swords were out of the ordinary, and she showed an astonished expression. Zhang Yuqi, if you were a bit gentler, I think your star beast wouldn't have run ashore. Su Xing smiled. Shi Yuan could not help but guffaw. The flying swords rushed down, and the 2 girls also ran after the flying swords. The urgent sea white spirit python noticed the group. The valley's river suddenly wriggled continuously, becoming a body. A fantastical python head appeared. It opened its mouth, and more than 1,000 water snakes sprayed out from its mouth, just like blooming algae. It turned into hurricane-like arrows that simultaneously rushed Su Xing and the girls. It was the first time he faced this sort of torrential oppression, and Su Xing felt a heavy pressure push down on his whole body. The white stripe in the waves somersaulted in midair. She waved her hand, and the white water mirror heart released a brilliant light. The 1,000 water snakes rushing over promptly exploded and turned into a downpour. The urgency white spirit python knew that this was useless against her. It hissed, opened its mouth, and its whole body flowed like a river, like boiling water. It was very hard to imagine what sort of tyrannical power it would release. It seemed to suck the rainwater into its chest, and the strong winds and waves immediately made the movements of Zhang, Yuqi and the others end. The entire valley already became a hell of violent winds and rain. The group's movements began to grow more difficult. Waves suddenly pounced, and Zhang Yuqi was unable to instantly dispatch them. She could only use the white water mirror heart to block. The urgency white spirit python released a roar, transmitting an ear-splitting sound. Instantly, several dozen meteors with trailing mists broke the surface, dropping from its body, consecutively pounding towards Zhang Yuqi. 12 flying swords formed an enormous shield to protect her front, blocking the water meteors. I am preparing to use all rivers reach seas. Can you obstruct it for a bit? Zhang Yuqi said. Su Xing nodded. It was a pity that he could only use astral tools and astral treasures as well as life-cast sword chants inside evil Smiting Hall. His ordinarily seemingly very powerful prehistoric spirit treasures had lost their scope for abilities. Otherwise, handling the Urgent Sea White Spirit Python actually would be very easy. The Urgent Sea White Spirit Python roared. The waves shook the sky, and it rushed towards them. Without saying a word, Su Xing and Shi Yuan glanced at each other. The two suddenly leapt into the air, flying towards the Urgent Sea White Spirit Python, star weapon and flying sword glimmering with light. In Evil Smiting Hall, all spirit treasures had already lost their usefulness, and he could only count on his own strength. Shi Yuan released the hoodwinking flying claws, the chains locking the Urgent Sea White Spirit Python. Su Xing also concentrated the heaven-sealing stillness hand, and a large hand of purple cloud appeared to grab the star beast. Then Su Xing did not hesitate at all to use Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder to create more than a dozen purple lotus flowers. Immediately afterwards, they struck to the Urgent Sea White Spirit Python, and the flying swords slashed. The white stripe in the waves Zhang Shun began to point at the Urgent Sea White Spirit Python. The white water mirror heart's 3 stars dazzled, and that pearl in the middle flashed with light, from dim to powerful. Zhang Yuqi currently was charging to full power her dark rank magic. The girl was somewhat amazed, for Su Xing and Shi Yuan's tacit understanding corresponded. The two of them were like intertwined phantoms, instantly attacking countless times in the surroundings. That man's martial force particularly did not seem bad, and his thoughts were very fine. The Urgent Sea White Spirit Python sensed danger, endlessly releasing water meteors to attack Zhang Yuqi, but each one was blocked by the 12 Langia. So he is not just a lower half man. Zhang Yuqi smiled with some interest. Liked it? You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.